10% when you pass. Financial advisor Scott Tucker and the team at Scott Tucker Solutions can show you ways to potentially reduce or even eliminate that burden. One strategy is to start gifting assets during your lifetime to lower the taxable value of your estate. Another option is setting up irrevocable trusts, which can shield wealth from estate taxes. Charitable donations and life insurance policies can also be smart tools to offset tax liabilities. Call Scott Tucker and the Scott Tucker Solutions team now, 847-474-3888, or go to 560retirement.com. That's 847-474-3888, or go to 560retirement.com. Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Firm may not give tax advice.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
Golf outing day. I always love golf outing day. Makray Memorial in Barrington is an absolutely wonderful venue, and the listeners, beautiful day, fantastic, but that will not deter us from the topics. And when I say topics, I don't mean trying to have an agreement with a cult. You can never do it, and that's Iran. I'm more interested in the domestic scumbags. Did you think we didn't know how you steal money in your wife's name? We know, and we're coming. We'll discuss this and more after Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, we'll see a high of 75 this afternoon. Iran and the United States agreeing to end the fighting in the Middle East and reopen the Strait of Hormuz, though the plan is still awaiting a final signature from both parties. The deal nearly derailed after an Israeli attack in Lebanon prompted a response from Iranian forces, though Qatari mediators remained in Iran to continue negotiations. President Trump in France ahead of the G7 summit. At least 19 shot, 6 fatally, according to reports, in gun violence across Chicago over the weekend. A man shot and killed while inside of a vehicle Sunday evening on the southwest side. Chicago Department of Public Health confirming the first West Nile virus positive mosquitoes in the city this year. The mosquitoes tested positive back on May 14. And cleanup continues area-wide after Thursday evening's major severe weather outbreak battered parts of Illinois and northwest Indiana, and a new round of storms downed trees and power lines in Calumet City. The White Sox visit the Yankees tomorrow while the Cubs will host Colorado. The news is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Download the app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Jerry Willis, and this is the Fox Business Report. The major averages kicking off the new trading week in rally mode, with the Dow notching its 16th record close of the year as oil prices fell on U.S.-Iran deal hopes. Tumbling oil prices are easing inflation concerns, with West Texas Intermediate crude settling at around $81 a barrel. Tech was the best performing sector, with chip makers leading the charge while energy lagged. The tech-heavy NASDAQ posting its best day since late March. Airline stocks took off as oil prices tumbled, with United among the biggest gainers, and its stock jumping over 4% for a fresh record close. The Dow winners, Caterpillar, American Express, and Goldman Sachs. The Dow decliners, Chevron, IBM, and Johnson & Johnson. The Dow rising 469 points, the NASDAQ higher by 795, S&P 500 up 123. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher explains the new feel of politics.
Everybody is on edge. Everybody's tense. Everybody recognizes there's something different this year. I understand why it's different now. The left is playing by a whole different set of rules. They are starting to openly declare what needs to be done with more than half of the country.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Life is full of challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. At intouch.org, you'll find powerful sermons from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, and resources designed to strengthen your faith and bring hope into your everyday life. Whether you're searching for encouragement, biblical wisdom, or practical guidance, intouch.org is here to help you grow closer to God's promises. Discover truth that speaks to your heart. Visit intouch.org today.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Food, fuel, jobs. It all starts with homegrown Illinois corn. Driving a $148 billion economic impact, corn supports thousands of jobs and strengthens communities across our state. It's advancing cleaner burning biofuels, expanding plant-based manufacturing, and growing a renewable economy. Illinois corn isn't just an agricultural success, it's a strategic investment in energy, innovation, and economic growth. See what's possible at ilcorn.org.
RedState.com captures the pulse of grassroots conservatism. Red State staff of contributors are on top of breaking news with stories and analysis that challenge the established agenda. RedState.com educates, motivates, and activates passionate conservatives across America, arming them with the facts that put them ahead of the political curve. No wonder RedState.com is a must-read for elected officials and for citizens who want to make their vote count. RedState.com is the place where influence meets action. Log on to RedState.com today.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the outbound Edens, no troubles to report. The Kennedy, a 45-minute ride out to O'Hare from the Jane Byrne interchange. Slowing down in the Express, California to the Edens. Eisenhower just under 1 hour. Post Office to 390. Stevenson, a 45-minute trip to Saba Lakeshore Drive out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. 25 minutes outbound Ryan. Tie-ups in the Express 35th to Marquette. And outbound 57 jammed from the Ryan down to Halsted. Expect delays along to Saba Lakeshore Drive, both north and south. Same for the Tri-State. It's still clear on the Jane Addams and the Reagan, but southbound 355 starting to back up as well. Heavy eastbound 80 Kedzie to the Tri-State. This report is the service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Shaun Thompson Show. Hear both shows with limited commercials when you subscribe for free to the daily podcast at 560theanswer.com/podcast. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect mainly clear skies with a low temperature of 60. Tomorrow, Tuesday, will bring mostly cloudy conditions with gusty winds, a couple of showers, and a thunderstorm possible, which could bring small hail. The high will reach 74 degrees. Tuesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag.
I love the on-location shows. I really do. And I have gotten criticism from time to time. You wouldn't believe it, Squirrel. Welcome back, Squirrel. Stop showing your Speedo hand lines to the rest of the workers. You're starting to create an HR violation. It's a funny thing, though. People want to do the show, and it's great. These venues where we get together, I absolutely love it. And a day like today, beautiful day for golf. Makray Memorial, fantastic course. The greens, great. Everything was wonderful. I played and met some wonderful people. But I only get 3 hours a day. And rather than give you the play-by-play of how my foursome were wonderful people, but should really take up bowling. Hopefully right now they're selling their clubs because they were terrible. But the day was fantastic. I want to talk about the most important thing. This is the administration of redemption. And the reason I say that is when you knew all these crooked mafia half-ass gangsters who call themselves Democrats, the scam They set their wives up. They set their simpleton kids up. They set their nephews up. And they steal policy money, and they launder it. So when you see that finally, after decades of the American people getting stuck with the bill, it's called the national debt. And the reason it exploded to parabolic levels after that simpleton married to that Bigfoot broad, which, by the way, that MMA fighter just started a thing that they think he's paying retribution for. He's saying what we all thought for many years. However, when you see the national debt explode by $30 trillion, it isn't about your green energy scams and the $4 million windmills that I saw 500 of them in Indiana, and we're going to go over that scam that is. It's about the way you've been stealing money since Barack Obama brought the Chicago way to the national stage.
The Federal Reserve has revealed that U.S. NGOs have more in assets than the combined 2025 GDP estimates for Japan, Germany, and India combined.
American money is in these entities, these vestibules of corruption called NGOs, which 30 years ago, nobody really talked about. That's because the debt was $30 trillion less. This is where our money is. You don't really think it's in policies, do you? You don't really think it's in agendas that will make your life better. You're the slave on the wheel of taxation. This is the class of people that never pay any taxes. That's why they have their apparatchiks called politicians attack people who pay taxes and go to work and make this country better, like Elon Musk. Here's another reason they don't like him.
So there's just a tremendous amount of money being sent to non-governmental organizations. But actually, this, by the way, is, I think, one of the biggest sources of fraud in the world, is government-funded non-governmental organizations. This is a gigantic fraud loophole where the government can give money to an NGO, and then there are no controls over that NGO. So they've given billions of dollars, in fact, we estimate tens of billions of dollars, to NGOs that are essentially scams.
Now, that was when everybody loved him. Ooh, he made the Tesla, the EV. That's when he was loved, after he exposes the way in which this, unfortunately, American government operates in a systemically corrupt way. All of a sudden, he's a Nazi, as they elect an actual Nazi.
This much money makes Elon Musk completely unaccountable. And it's so striking that I think in the past, if you had a businessman like Musk who was such an out-and-out white supremacist, who was probably the most significant sort of white
You know who a white supremacist was? LBJ. Yet he's touted by every Democrat. How many people understand the long legacy of corruption of LBJ? You could articulate, you could speculate, you may even be aware that welfare roach corrupt system was set by LBJ, who, by the way, like every other Democrat, stole their election.
Johnson won by 87 votes, but the question of a stolen election remained.
You cannot make the statement on the facts that Johnson stole the election. I think you can say it was stolen for him. That's true. But did he order it done? I never could find John Connolly down there doing it.
I wasn't within 200 miles of him. I was in Austin, Texas, on a battery of telephones calling all over the state of Texas. I didn't know anything about it. And that's the truth of the matter.
If Homer Dean knew it was stolen, you don't find Homer Dean saying he stole it.
I didn't then and don't now think that Johnson directly participated in it. He received the benefit of it, but I don't think he directed it or even knew about it when it was happening.
You see,
3 days, the count went on. Oh, this is way back when. And this lying, thieving fraud who would go on to really benefit from the assassination of JFK. He set in motion the welfare roach theft system that plagues us to this day, only now it's exploded to $14.2 trillion that sits in bank accounts of NGOs that benefit nobody but corrupt politicians and their simpleton relatives.
India and Japan's GDP each just over $4 trillion, Germany $5 trillion, about $13.5 trillion together. Guess what? The combined assets held by U.S. NGOs equals $14.2 trillion of your.
That's a lot of money to splash around. Now all you need is a good excuse to steal it and a Democrat to set the wheels in motion. Let's take that false actor, that moron, the mimbo, Gavin Newsom. and his whore wife. Number 3 or 2, it doesn't matter. She's another trollop. She's the trois in the menage a trois he got caught with his best friend's wife in. Here's $20 million for you, whore.
Governor Gavin Newsom has announced that the state will funnel $20 million in taxpayer dollars to an NGO connected to his wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom. It's for the quote-unquote free diapers that will be handed out to newborns through the group Baby to Baby. Baby to Baby's co-CEO, Nora Weinstein, sits on the board of Jennifer Newsom's NGO, California Partners Project. This is not the first time that Jennifer is connected to massive taxpayer-funded projects and other scandals related to her NGOs. She is the honorary chair of the NGO Cal Volunteers that was given at least $1 million in fire aid relief, in which $0 went directly to the victims of the Palisades wildfire.
Does anybody know the name of little tiny Dick Durbin's wife's lobbyist firm? Is it Cellulite Incorporated? What is that fat ass good at other than laundering money? Anybody know the name of Mike Madigan's son lobbying firm? What is it called? Step and Fetch? What is the name of Ed Burke's nephew, cousin, sister's kid with the cork on his fork so he doesn't poke his own eye out during Thanksgiving? All multi-millionaires. Did you think you'd get away with it? Gavin Newsom's chief of staff at one time pleads guilty for the lightest sentence of her thieving rat career.
Former chief of staff to the California governor, top Democrat Gavin Newsom, is set to appear in court tonight after being indicted on public corruption charges. According to prosecutors, Dana Williamson diverted something like $225,000 from an inactive political campaign to an associate's personal use from 2022 to 2024, which is right around the same time she worked for the governor. Prosecutors.
And when we catch them, it's the smallest crime these thieves ever perpetrate. Yet, who do they hate? They hate the businessman. They hate the worker. They hate the golf pro shop worker. They hate the guy that busts his ass 7 days a week. That people like Elon Musk make millionaires overnight.
SpaceX stock blasted off in its debut, soaring more than 19% on the NASDAQ before closing at $161 a share, making it the largest initial public offering in history.
If people had told me this was going to happen, I was like, man, you must be smoking some really good crack.
Founder and CEO Elon Musk, already the world's richest man, became the first ever trillionaire, touting his vision for the future.
SpaceX wants to be able to take you to the moon, take you to Mars, and ultimately beyond.
SpaceX, which includes the rocket company, the satellite internet provider Starlink, and xAI, also minted more than 4,400 new millionaires.
It's pretty unreal. Don't have the words, honestly.
One of them, Juan Hernandez, a welder at SpaceX for 10 years, who was paid both a salary and.
Now, how many millionaires were made by the Democrat mafia? How many millionaires that could have been millionaires had their money extorted from them to pay NGOs so that one of their ugly wives, stupid kids, half-ass simpleton nephews could become millionaires? How many millionaires does the Democrat mafia really make through honest business versus stealing your money?
The world's richest freeloader evidently has a very thin skin. But you know the part that really makes me angry about this? It's on behalf of every public school teacher, every waitress, every computer.
See, government can never pay them because they have no money. The only way they can even fund this merry wheel of fraud is by stealing money of the workers. And by the way, that's a broad who's whiter than Ed Burke's ass, high cheekbones like Chuck Connor's, and for 40 years, she not only got jobs, she got loans. And she won elections by saying she was an Indian, and she's still going to get elected because the people who support this, they don't believe she's an Indian any more than they believe Bernie Sanders is a communist. They want in on it, like all the wives of these scoundrels you call politicians. 312-642-5600.
He will never negotiate his constitutional rights with the government. Live free or die on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Gary Carr, retired homicide detective and the owner of Illinois Concealed Carry Training in Midlothian. For 10 years, we've helped more than 20,000 students become safe, responsible, and confident firearm owners. If you're looking to get your Illinois Concealed Carry license or need to renew, now's the perfect time. Our law enforcement-led training gives you the knowledge and skills to protect yourself and your family. Our 16-hour concealed carry class includes live fire training, one-on-one coaching, Illinois and Florida certification for expanded reciprocity, range qualification, and a full-color textbook. We provide the firearm, ammunition, eye and ear protection, targets, and range access. Need a renewal? Our 3-hour renewal class keeps you legal and current on Illinois firearm laws. Thousands of students have trusted us for professional instruction, flexible scheduling, and exceptional value. Illinois Concealed Carry Training in Midlothian for classes, less lethal options, and self-defense legal plans. Visit us at concealedcarrychicago.com to reserve your seat today. That's concealedcarrychicago.com, concealedcarrychicago.com.
Hey, this is Shaun Thompson. You know, most of us spend our entire lives in the paycheck mode. You work, you get 30% taken from the G, you pay your bills, repeat, and rinse. And that's how time goes by. Then all of a sudden you're old. Retirement hits. Suddenly, you're the one who has to figure out your paycheck that isn't there anymore. Markets are bumpy, prices are up, things can get stressful real fast. That's why having a real income plan matters. Tom Fortino and the team at Alpha Wealth Group can help you build a strategy to turn your hard-earned savings into a reliable retirement income. They coordinate with your Social Security and your tax planning, so you can stop wondering if you're withdrawing the right amount at the right time. Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have been doing this for 30 years. They can help you by giving you a complimentary retirement roadmap. And all you have to do is call 630-864-6711. That's 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
AM 560, The Answer.
Golf outing day. A beautiful day. Makray, Memorial, Barrington. For a minute, you almost forget it's Illinois stand. Run by a fat slob that never did anything in his life. Didn't even put on his own shoes. Just to wash his crotch, he had to hire a slave. All of a sudden, he's got the answers for Illinois. And what it is to launder more and more money, just like every thieving Democrat. It's very important you understand how this game is played. They use these fronts, these vestibules of corruption, to enrich themselves through relatives. You see, that's how it works. We've got Gavin Newsom's wife. We've got Gavin Newsom's chief of staff. What does he think? He's from Chicago to the South Side? Let's put your kid in there, and we'll pretend he works for a financial institution that loans money to the city and to the state. You guys are real hard to figure out. The difference is, for decades, you got away with it. Well, this is the first sign of life ever for the good guys.
In recent days, federal agents have knocked on the doors of family, friends, and former employees. Not because they found a crime, because they're simply trying to find one. They're demanding.
Yo, Gavin, your chief of staff for 20 years pled guilty to stealing money. Your dingbat second, third wife, who could keep track, the one with the Botox in her face and the injections in her lips and the $20 million in her checking account, stole the money. Listen to how he plays victim. You know, if I knew you were this good at acting, you should have went to Hollywood and become one of those MI5 guys. You could be a Scientologist. Hold the rods of truth. You'll get an action job.
Records. They're abusing the grand jury process, digging through years and years of random documents. Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president.
Everybody hopes you run for president. And then the campaign speech against you would, do you want to be California? I dare you. Crackheads on the street, drug addicts getting free teeth, and you may step in human fecal, or as it's known in your neighborhood, the sidewalk. That's what we're hoping. You run the slob trust fund baby Pritzker who couldn't do a push-up or a jumping jack to save his life. And the evidence of you stealing isn't just our speculation. It's the proof of the money and the people who have already pled guilty over and over again to lesser sentences.
Former chief of staff to the California governor, top Democrat Gavin Newsom, is set to appear in court tonight after being indicted on public corruption charges. According to prosecutors, Dana Williamson diverted something like $225,000 from an inactive political campaign to an associate's personal use from 2022 to 2024, which is right around.
Was it like the judge in Georgia? Was the associate stooping her in some room where she was making loud noises and scaring kids? Because that's the other scam. They pay their side broads. They pay the guy stooping them like Fat Fanny in Georgia, going on vacation with other people's money. In fact, that's all you know how to do, steal other people's money. You cannot make your own. And that's why you always hate the Americans that do and understand you're supposed to work for them. You're not supposed to steal from them.
See a term, you know what, let's buy a house. So we bought a house, and guess what? Like many thousands of people in the state of Vermont, I have a summer camp. It's a nice one on Lake Champlain. That's it. Now, how did I get the money? You're right. I wrote 2 best-selling books, including...
No, you didn't. That has nothing to do with it. Your wife got away with bank fraud. Your wife frauded a bank, borrowed money, and the money disappeared. That's just your ugly wife. And when it comes to you, how many NGOs are linked directly to your bank account? Is it more or less than Elizabeth, not an Indian Warren, that lying dingbat fraud? 40 years she said she was an Indian. And when she got caught, obviously not being an Indian because she's white, pasty white, what was the repercussion? She was elected again. So maybe Gavin Newsom is onto something. The morons that vote for Democrats, they'll vote for anything.
Because he hates that I've consistently called him out over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history. He's turned the levers of government into his own personal.
You mean more corrupt than Joe Biden, whose crackhead son was on an oil company, was invested with the Chinese communists? Or you mean more corrupt than Barack Obama, who, when he was a state senator, couldn't make his Chrysler 300 the Ghetto 500 payments and had to borrow it from some half-ass loan shark in the first ward? Which one is more corrupt? See, because in Democrat areas, that's just called Monday and business as usual. That's the way you like it.
We have a sheriff who has obtained more than 500,000 ballots as part of an investigation into potential voter fraud in the Golden State. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, who is also running for governor, as we know, we've had him on the show before, has now taken possession of more than 500,000 ballots, claiming there are major discrepancies that need to be reviewed. Well, guess what? Sheriff Chad Bianco is actually with us again. He joins us on American Sunrise. Sheriff, good morning to you. So what specific evidence are we looking at here in terms of irregularities that led you to seize these ballots? What are you hoping to prove through the investigation? Good morning to you.
Good morning. Appreciate being here. It's very, very, very easy. And unfortunately, these politicians are lying to everyone and making it very, very difficult. This is the evidence that we have is evidence that was seized from the Registrar of Voters itself. It's just their daily records. And when you add up the daily records of the ballots that they took in throughout the election process, the mail-in ballot process, and you add up those totals, you come up with 611,000. When you add up the yes and the no votes, there's 658,000. So
the math doesn't lie. The rat politicians do, and they all seem to be Democrats. Jim, Lake County.
Hey, namaste, Shawnee. Namaste.
Namaste. I could have used a little stretching, little yoga. My back, I feel like I got beat up with cans, but go ahead.
It's okay. Let's use the mind. Let's stretch the mind a little bit here. Already been Chew Television, ABC. You know, we got Whoopi Goldberg, you know, saying a bunch of stuff out there, and you know, her name isn't even Whoopi Goldberg. It's Karen
Johnson.
Yeah. And, you know, she's not even, like, disposing. She's not. We don't even know what her net worth is, how much money she's getting paid under the table for, you know, barking the way she's barking and, you know, getting everybody brainwashed here.
She's got at least 2 settlements from the white husbands she divorced before she married the 3rd white husband. So there's a lot of money being washed around there with the blue-eyed white devil. Go ahead.
The other thing is, I just want to know if you got your tickets to the non-circumcised building opening, happening in a couple of days here in Chicago.
I think I'm the poster model for it. But you know what's funny? I just thought, as we were talking, you know who a white supremacist is? Karen Johnson, also known as Whoopi Goldberg. 3 marriages, all white guys? That's a white supremacist if I've ever heard of one. Thank you very much for the call. A double, triple reversal. Bank shot. 312-642-5600. We'll be back.
Call Shaun now. 312-642-5600.
Picture this. Bottom of the 9th. Bases loaded. 2 outs. And the IRS is on the hill throwing nothing but heat and chin music. Back taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens. You're down in the count. Time to call in a pinch hitter. At PJN Tax Solutions Group, we are your pinch hitter. We deal with the revenue officers so you don't have to. PJN Tax Solutions Group is a local tax resolution firm located right here in St. Charles, Illinois. Don't call some 1-800-FIRM 10 states away. We're right here. When the IRS tries to steal home with your paycheck, we throw them out. When they load the bases with bank levies and wage garnishments, we strike them out.
Strike 3, you're out.
It's a full count and the game is on the line. Are you stepping up alone or are you bringing in a professional? Call PJN Tax Solutions Group now, 630-415-5296. Again, 630-415-5296, or just Google, I want the IRS off my ASS.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Shaun Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
Did you know a will alone does not keep your family out of court when you die? The court still has to approve your will, but get a living trust, and your estate can be settled clearly without issue. Talk to the attorneys at Nauman & Associates. They prepare wills and trusts for a flat fee, no surprises, no hourly rate. With decades of experience, they know the law and offer a free consultation. Contact Nauman & Associates in Elk Grove Village, nalawgroup.com. Call 847-593-8777.
If stairs in your home are becoming difficult, there's a practical solution, and it doesn't have to come with pushy salespeople. Access provides dependable stair lifts designed to help you stay safely in the home you love. No gimmicks, no overselling, just honest guidance, quality equipment, and professional local installation. We'll explain your options, work within your budget, and let you decide what's right at your pace. For a straightforward, no-pressure, free in-home consultation, call 630-616-6249 or visit allaboutaccess.com.
It's news, opinion, and insight at the speed of your life. Streaming at 560theanswer.com on the AM 560 mobile app, or tell your smart speaker to play The Answer Chicago.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. 12 are reported dead after a plane carrying a group of skydivers went down yesterday in Missouri. Reporter Maggie Vespa.
That's according to the airport's acting manager, who also said he believes the pilot may have been attempting an emergency landing on the road when the crash happened. Local authorities stressing right now this appears to have been an accident, but again, the investigation is just beginning.
President Trump in France today ahead of the G7 summit.
The president absolutely would hope to have a victory in his pocket when he leaves the White House and makes his way here to Geneva. We are told that he will address during the summit economic growth, illegal immigration, artificial intelligence.
And cleanup continues area-wide after Thursday evening's major severe weather outbreak battered parts of Illinois and northwest Indiana. The first-place White Sox will visit the Yankees tomorrow, while the Northsiders begin a 6-game homestand against Colorado. The news, a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Download the mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. Your next news comes your way at 5. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage on AM 560 The Answer. But up next, a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jill Urchek.
Here is another check of the roads, beginning with the outbound Edens, which is wide open, but it is busy going in. 40 minutes in from Lake Cook Road to Montrose. The Kennedy out 45 Chamberlain Interchange to O'Hare. There will be a few tie-ups in the express lanes, California to the Edens. Eisenhower sits at just under 1 hour. Post Office out to 390. Stevenson outbound 45 to Saba Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Dan Ryan 25 minutes downtown to 95th. A bit snug in the Express 35th to Marquette. Outbound 57, that's heavy Ryan to Halsted. Ford slowing 115th to Dalton. Expect heavy conditions along the Tri-State and DuSable Lakeshore Drive either way. Westbound Jane Addams at Barrington. Traffic cones reported to be in the 2 left lanes, so be careful. Southbound 355 tight 290 to North Avenue. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect mainly clear skies with a low of 60. On Tuesday, it will be mostly cloudy and breezy with a chance of a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Gusty winds and small hail may accompany any thunderstorm. The high will reach 74 degrees. Tuesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-575-8924. 800-575-8924. That's 800-575-8924.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling your firearms? Get top dollar from national collectors. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
I can't believe you're a professional golfer. I think you should be working at the snack bar. You better relax, Bob. There is no way that you could have been as bad at hockey as you are at golf. All right, let's go.
So, it's very interesting. Makray Memorial Golf Club. I had not played it until we had the golf outing. And I would always drive by it on Northwest Highway. And when I came out here, it's 4 years now. 4 years we came out here. It's a fantastic course in fantastic shape. And I think I know the reason why. And it's somebody I want to talked to, who is on behalf of the golf course, he scares all the golfers in the morning, and then in the afternoon, he brings one of those microphones that you yell into, but he doesn't need it. Guys, pay attention when Don talks. Don, are you're the manager? You're the pro? You're the guy that
manager, head professional.
Wow.
Do everything here.
All right. Why did you put so much of the sand traps and the obstacles in the trees in the way of the hole? Was that strategically placed?
They are all. Absolutely. But you're lucky that we don't have a lot of bunkers here.
Yeah, I know. It's true. And the people I were with didn't find any because I golfed with a guy that figured out how to put backspin on a driver, which I've never seen before. Now, you being a pro, have you ever seen backspin on a driver?
Yes.
All right. Well, you must have been watching our foursome. But you've been here how long?
25 years.
Really? Now, were you
before it was Makray, when it was Thunderbird Country Club?
And you know, we had a listener come up, and he brought a picture of an old news article of himself from the 70s, where as a kid they used to have tournaments here for the high schools in the area. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
And his name is Steve, and he had won the tournament. And he was saying, you know, he loved the course. And one of the things he said that's true, I can't get over the greens. The speed, the way they're really country club level. They're fantastic greens.
There's a lot of undulations, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and getting back to junior golf, we host the Illinois State Junior Amateur Championship every year since 2008.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
And now, Don, when you do these foursomes, do you do a lot of foursomes a year, or is it specific? Because I know you got a lot of people in the area that play golf here and probably don't like when you have the golf outings, especially if they were behind my
because
foursome.
we're excuse me, we're privately owned public.
Oh, okay.
We are not private.
Oh, okay. So you do have a lot of outings here.
Oh, yeah.
So if people wanted to schedule outings, they called Don.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So now we talked about your name, which is Yugoslavian, and it's Hanjan? No, Hanjab.
Habjan.
Habjan. All right. Well, listen, from Melrose Park, you know how many Yugoslavians I knew? None. I heard stories of Yugoslavians, but didn't know any. If there's not a vowel on the end of that son of a gun, I really can't do it. But it's funny to listen to you tell the guys exactly what the rules are. You had everybody nervous, which is a tough crew. We had bricklayers, we got accountants, we got traders, and everybody was listening to Don. No messing around. Stay on the cart path, which we did until you were out of sight. Then we did pretty much what we wanted. Do you find a lot of...
until I look at the GPS and I can send out notes.
Great. Yeah, I avoided that with my cell phone, but we got it on the cart. So I love the fact that you did this. And you are so welcoming. And the people and the food, you know, on behalf of AM 560 and the players that come out and Tunnel to Towers, we love it here. So you're a big part of that. So thank you very much.
We love you people here, too, in the cause. It's unbelievable.
You know,
it is great.
We've been through some dark years, and we're out of those years, and you were always friendly to us. And you know, it's funny with our company in this state, we get a lot of people that aren't so friendly. So on behalf of all the people with an IQ over 60 that would never vote for a thief like Joe Biden, thank you, and everybody here at Makray Memorial.
Go Trump.
Yes, exactly. Don, truly a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank you
very much.
312-642-5600. When we get back, D, we'll take your call on Whoopi, the white supremacist, and the rest of your calls after this.
What if everything you've been told about government, health care, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Shaun Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Shaun Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at ShaunThompsonShow.com/book.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your savings last? How much should you take out and when? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? I'm Edward Jones financial advisor, Nolan Webster. Let's work together to make sure your finances meet your unique needs over the long haul. You've done what it takes to get there. Now it's time to make the most of retirement. Call me at 224-801-6107 to schedule an appointment. That's 224-801-6107. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Town Hall News, where conservative voices cut through the noise from breaking headlines to fearless opinion. We report what matters without apology. Written by people who actually believe what you believe. Town Hall tells the stories the corporate press buries, from President Trump to Capitol Hill. From pivotal elections to your everyday lives. Join the movement at townhall.com. Real stories, real reporters, real conservative media.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Everywhere you turn, it's plus, plus, plus. Retail chains, streamers, even our phones come with plus. And to think it all started with Hasselus mattress, because nobody has more plus than us. Right now at Hasselus, get a Queen Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,459, but Hasselus has it for just $794. Plus, through Monday, you'll also get a free adjustable base. Plus, a huge selection of Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, and other big name brands. Plus, free financing. Plus, free next day delivery and setup. Plus, free haul away and disposal of your old mattress. Plus, employee-free showrooms. Get all this, plus a whole lot more when you shop at Hasselus Mattress. Woo! All these pluses have me feeling nonplussed. Save big on Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, and more every day from 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
A revolution in chip technology could make today's artificial intelligence obsolete. 3 companies are quietly building a $1 trillion triangle to develop and manufacture supercomputers the size of a dinner plate. Investment guru George Gilder has his finger on the 3 companies whose technology could change tech forever. Log on to TrillionDollarTriangle.com to find out which 3 companies are working on what could be the biggest tech disruption since the internet. TrillionDollarTriangle.com. That's TrillionDollarTriangle.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Poor Ted Danson. I don't think he ever rebounded after the Whoopi adventure. Hey, Ted, did it all start because you wanted to know where her eyebrows were and you thought they were in the underwear drawer? I heard of some guys that hate their penis, but that is really something. The white supremacist, Whoopi Goldberg. 3 husbands, all white, as Ed Burke's ass. D, North Side.
Yes.
How are you, D?
Hi. I wanted to know what happened today to the Knicks team captain. In the middle of the show, it was cut, and he didn't come back on.
Well, have you ever met a professional athlete after the year 1994? They're not very reliable. He might have just got up and walked away. You never know.
Oh, no, they were singing his praises, and they were just having a great time. But they did end up with a question to him because they said Trump had made a sarcastic remark about Obama's wife. And I don't know if something...
That's a little bit of half a story. And the reason is it was a fighter who fought in that fight that they hosted at the White House. And I have it here somewhere. I cannot find where he said Michelle Obama is a man. And my honey bunny probably titled it Michelle Obama is a man. But I have that cut. And it people are upset, only the people who wanted you to believe she was beautiful with a 5 o'clock shadow. So I had a hard time believing she was beautiful, and I couldn't help but notice the 5 o'clock shadow came in around 3:30, which means there's a lot of testosterone in that son of a gun, isn't there?
Well, it was very interesting because they cut the whole half of the show after that comment. They were supposed to come back and complete the interview with him, and they were singing his praises, and it all ended.
Well, it's interesting, D. Have you been around a while, or are you a young lady?
No, I'm a very old lady.
All right, well, you've seen that term of beautiful really get graded on a curve today, haven't you? A lot of ugly people walking around, and the news is telling you you're beautiful. So I like the idea that you were around when things were right versus wrong, and I appreciate the call, Dee. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, yes. I remember a time when women with a 5 o'clock shadow were called men. George, Naperville.
Yes, Shaun, I don't know if you heard this, but someone told me that Whoopi marries all those white guys so she could get better seating when she goes to Sizzler's Steakhouse.
Oh, that's very, very racist. I'm sure. I'm offended on behalf of the Whoopi Goldbergs. It's a very interesting scenario, this way in which race is wielded in a country that made more multi-millionaires out of all colors, gave complete freedom. But the government that wants to knuckle under people day after day, they want to present themselves as having the answer. When the reality is, all they want to do is have plausible deniability to steal elections and funnel money through NGOs to their moron spouses. And did I say moron spouses, Honey Bunny? Because you know who fits that better than anybody? The Duchess of Chafington, who has the personality that dogs don't like, let alone cats. And nobody can figure out what happened in Rose Law Firm when you burn the evidence of Whitewater.
You carry through what they're doing to try to undermine voting. They're trying to kick people off voting rolls. They're trying to demand, forms of identification that most real people don't have, and most older people and most rural people don't have.
Have you met an old person that doesn't have a license? Is there an old person over the age of 50 that says, you know what, the last thing I have is a license? I mean, they just say things. Next thing you know, they'll be selling you Elizabeth Warren is an Indian, you morons.
They're certainly redistricting to make it difficult to elect black representatives or Latino representatives or Democrats.
I believe a black senator is in the lead in the Carolinas, and she doesn't get any credit because she's not part of that fraud system. She's actually a Republican.
Your perspective on why election integrity matters so much for national security from your perspective.
Well, we need it for our elections. We need to have voter identification, which you don't have right now on a national basis. We need it for, and the voter ID is very important. We need it for proof of citizenship. Do you believe it? The Democrats are fighting. They don't want you to prove your citizenship when you vote. You know why they want that? Because they cheat. And we also want it with mail-in voting where you have people.
You know, it's a very interesting story about LBJ. And the way in which he stole that election was by using Mexican Americans and the main district that they resided in at the time. And the suspicions are quite eerily similar to today. It was illegal aliens posing as Americans way back when LBJ was a thief.
Johnson won by 87 votes. But the question of a stolen election remained.
You cannot make the statement on the facts that Johnson stole the election. I think you.
By the way, this is long before the Democrat gangster mafia in Chirac stole the election for JFK, before LBJ worked with nefarious players to make certain he was killed. And then LBJ created the welfare theft system we call entitlements to this day. Therein lies the crux of the issue. It's always about the money. It's about the money, and now it's trillions.
California taxpayers $20 million, and gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton is already pointing out some concerns here.
All right, so Gavin Newsom is taking $20 billion of your money to send 100,000 babies 400 diapers. That works out at 50 cents per diaper. We just came into Target to check out what you could buy it for in the store. Here you go. Just check this one out here. $162.26. That works out at 16 cents per diaper.
Might not be dirty yet.
That's true. But did he?
Why pay 16 cents when you could pay $30 and steal it in your wife's name? That's the scam. And that's how it operates. And that's what nobody wants to talk about. And that's all we should talk about. Because you think it's just NGOs with diapers for kids? It's about the eco-Nazi agenda. And what Trump has done to reverse it attributes greatly to the massive success of private industry rebuilding our economy.
We arrived by helicopter.
We're excited to get after it.
For a first-hand look at a Sable offshore oil platform located off the coast of Santa Barbara, California. This pipeline is once again actively producing thousands of barrels of oil due to an executive order issued by the Trump administration.
The state of California is suing to shut it down.
President Trump is.
By the way, the state of California is suing to shut down the oil, as they have their own rules and their own import-export system that negates American policy with the theocracy referred to as Iran, which translates to land of the Aryans, not just Whoopi Goldberg's husbands. And California imports directly. How in the frack does that work? That means the government of California specifically not just nullified American foreign policy, but circumvented, undermined. That is an act of treason in the world I'm concerned with, the world of reality. But in the world of reality, you know what doesn't work? Frauds that tell you they work and they waste our money.
Corporations across America are opting out, one after another, from the whole wind power business, and wind power mega projects are either put on hold or have been suddenly canceled. These sudden decisions are not just causing a negative economic impact, but are also jeopardizing America's goal of achieving 100% clean electricity by 2035. What is happening? Why are these corporations halting wind power projects? Who is to blame for the crisis, and what are the solutions? June and July 2023 have been nothing but a catastrophe for wind energy mega projects in the USA. Almost all of the big players in this sector have halted or are pulling out of the whole wind energy sector in America. The biggest...
This is after the office tramp known as Kamala Harris circumvented the filibuster and was the tiebreaker for a $2 trillion bill that funded the vast majority of it into green energy. So right after, how many people are aware that not only businesses pulled out, but the greatest company with the most contracts let everybody know their turbines suck, don't work, and start on fire.
Names who are quitting wind energy in the USA are multinationals such as Shell, BP, Denmark's Ørsted, Norway's Equinor, Spain's Iberdrola, Portugal's Energies de Portugal, France's Engie, and France's state-owned Électricité de France.
Sissies. Who would name a company like that? You cheese-eating surrender monkeys. I can't stand the French.
These are just some of the names.
Except for my cousins that my Uncle Mikey knocked up those hookers over there.
In reality, there are hundreds of small and mid-sized companies in the U.S. that have been canceling or halting wind energy projects. Another major blow that has just hit the market is a $17 billion plus disaster at the world's second largest wind turbine manufacturer, Siemens Energy, which caused its stock price to go down by 37% upon the announcement that quality problems at its wind turbine unit would take years to fix. These are not minor problems, since they are serious manufacturing defects that include...
The entire industry is built on lies, frauds, paid for bulldung science. And that's what Democrats deliver everywhere they are in power.
For energy addition and energy dominance, Gavin Newsom is for energy subtraction and energy submission.
We speak exclusively with U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright and Interior Secretary Doug Burgum atop the Harmony Oil platform. At a moment when so many Americans are worried about higher gas prices.
72 million cars could fill up their tank off the production coming from these platforms that are right here.
For AAA,
So you mean everybody? Everybody can fill their car up from the platforms that are started under the Trump administration. But Gavin Newsom likes wind. Why does he like wind? Because you can steal money in the name of a feel-good bulldung science that nobody asks questions. Fastest show on radio, and we didn't even really talk to too many golfers, but we'll be back very soon.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, if you're living with joint pain, listen up. Is your life filled with I can't raise my arms, I can't climb stairs, I can't kneel down, I can't take a long walk or golf with the guys? Well, today's a new day. Take action, a day to celebrate what you can do. And that's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing. Back to enjoying their lives again thanks to the innovative treatments offered at QC Kinetics. I've seen the results and personally recommend Dr. Caravelli and her team. So many of you have been through their life-changing regenerative treatments done right in the office. No missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down. I want you to schedule a free consultation. You don't have to live a life of I can't. Have a conversation with my friends at QC Kinetics and tell them I sent you when you do. Their treatments are natural, So don't watch summer pass you by again. Take action today. Schedule an appointment right now. Consultations are free. Call 312-827-6261. Again, that number, 312-827-6261. Call QC Kinetics to be pain-free this summer at 312-827-6261.
Your kitchen's outdated. Your bathroom feels cramped. Every day you wait, prices go up. And you keep living in a space that doesn't work. At Forever Remodeling, one team handles everything. Design, planning, and installation, start to finish. We show you your new space in 3D before we ever break ground. No surprises. With flexible financing options, the home you want is closer than you think. Visit foreverremodeling.com. That's the number 4everremodeling.com to schedule your personalized in-home design consultation.
Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank you for your great support this past year. They want to make 2026 the best year ever. So to thank you, they are giving you free shipping on your entire order and wholesale pricing. So they are bringing back the mega sale. For example, the classic MyPillows, regularly $49.98, now only $14.98. Turn any mattress into the best mattress ever with the Made in the USA MyPillow My Mattress Topper and save up to $100. Get a set of MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets for as low as $29.98 or the 6-pack towel set for only $34.98. To get the best specials ever, go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY. These offers won't last long, so call 800-489-0201 or go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY. Order now and your entire order ships absolutely free.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878. It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
So we're doing interviews with people that are here, and we've invited a dear friend of the show, somebody who's been with me for many, many years. He brought his lovely wife. We're going to talk to Donald Kendall, the director of Heartland's Emerging Issues Center, host of Heartland's In the Tank podcast, Stopping Socialism TV. Donald Kendall will join us live from Makray Memorial. That'll be after news with Mike Scott.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. A sunny and pleasant Monday with a high of 75. 12 are dead after a plane carrying a group of skydivers went down yesterday in Missouri.
That's according to the airport's acting manager, who also said he believes the pilot may have been attempting an emergency landing on the road when the crash happened. Local authorities stressing right now this appears to have been an accident, but again, the investigation is just beginning.
Reporter Maggie Vespa. President Trump in France ahead of the G7 summit with a deal with Iran on the table. Senator James Lankford says Congress should ratify any potential deal to end the war with Iran.
It is best if it is ratified by Congress. It has a more lasting effect on it.
One person is dead in a motorcycle crash in Lombard. It happened yesterday near Finley and 22nd. IDOT says they're investigating a crash involving a transportation vehicle on the Dan Ryan that left 2 hurt. The accident happened yesterday in the express lanes near 37th Street. First place White Sox visit the Yankees tomorrow. The Northsiders start a 6-game homestand, facing off against Colorado. The news, a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat.
I'm Lauren Simonetti, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The major averages kicking off the new trading week in rally mode after President Trump announced that an agreement had been reached to end the war between the U.S. and Iran that would fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices fell to their lowest level since early March, with West Texas Intermediate crude down around $81 a barrel. Tech stocks climbed and lifted the tech-heavy NASDAQ for its best day since late March, with semiconductors leading the charge. Shares of AI darling NVIDIA jumped 3%. According to reports, the chipmaker is getting in gear to sell investment-grade bonds for the first time in around 5 years. The chipmaker is aiming to raise at least $20 billion through the offering. The Dow up 469 points for its 16th record close of the year. The Nasdaq higher by 795. S&P 500 up 123. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Hillary Barsky, invested in you.
Hey, this is Shaun Thompson. You know, most of us spend our entire lives in the paycheck mode. You work, you get 30% taken from the G, you pay your bills, repeat and rinse. And that's how time goes by. Then all of a sudden you're old. Retirement hits. Suddenly, you're the one who has to figure out your paycheck that isn't there anymore. Markets are bumpy, prices are up, things can get stressful real fast. That's why having a real income plan matters. Tom Fortino and the team at Alpha Wealth Group can help you build a strategy to turn your hard-earned savings into a reliable retirement income. They coordinate with your Social Security and your tax planning so you can stop wondering if you're withdrawing the right amount at the right time. Tom Fortino and the people of Alpha Wealth Group have been doing this for 30 years. They can help you by giving you a complimentary retirement roadmap. And all you have to do is call 630-864-6711. That's 630-864-6711 or online at alphawealthgroup.com.
Feeling uncertain by life's challenges? Discover timeless truth and encouragement with In Touch Ministries, guiding you every step of the way. At intouch.org, you'll discover encouragement that lasts. With powerful sermons from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, and resources designed to strengthen your faith, you'll find hope and wisdom for every season of your life. Don't wait. Visit intouch.org today and let God's Word inspire your journey. That's intouch.org.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Stuck in traffic? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On the southbound Veterans Memorial Tollway at North Avenue, there is a stall blocking the right lane. That's causing a backup. Jane Addams eastbound jammed. River Road toll to Montrose, both directions of the Tri-State, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive are busy. Southbound 355, a stall in the right lane at North Avenue. On the outbound Edens, no delays. The Kennedy going out downtown to the airport, 45 minutes. Eisenhower, 1 hour. Post office out to 390. Stevenson, 48 minutes to DuSable Lakeshore Drive to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Going outbound on the Ryan, a 25-minute ride with tie-ups in the Express, 35th to Marquette. This report is a service of the AM 560 mobile app. Listen to AM 560 on your smartphone or mobile device when you download the AM 560 mobile app at 560theanswer.com/mobile. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect mainly clear skies with a low temperature of 60. Tomorrow, Tuesday, will bring mostly cloudy conditions with gusty winds, a couple of showers, and a thunderstorm possible, which could bring small hail. The high will reach 74 degrees. Tuesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all guns. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And This is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made
Now,
to wave the flag.
that is an MMA fighter who I love to death, right? Arguably, that is the smartest MMA fighter that I've ever heard. But there's a number 2 now who decided a 5 o'clock shadow might make you suspicious. And it's a scandal. But everything that is spoken about the truth seems to be a scandal, especially when we have talked about the trillions of dollars that have been stolen in an agenda that doesn't help the American people but hurts them. And the reason I'm optimistic is because having that knowledge means we don't have to repeat it. Now, when you talk about optimism, you got to talk to my friend, the director of Heartland's Emerging Issue Center. We got him out to Makray Memorial in Barrington. Donald Kendall, you handsome devil, and brought his lovely wife, proving he's heterosexual, beyond the shadow of a doubt. She's lovely. And they are here, and we are talking about how optimistic the next 250 years are going to be.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, first of all. This is the first time we've met in person. I've been on your show, I don't know how many times. I get to meet you, get to meet Honey Bunny. Before the segment started, she says, Shaun, make sure that you're being optimistic. He wants to be optimistic.
Yeah.
It's true. I do want to be optimistic. Sometimes it's very difficult, but I think there's a handful of things that we can glom onto that, get our hopes up.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? Confronting the fraud doesn't make you pessimistic. Exposing the fraud doesn't make you pessimistic. Feeling that it's always going to continue because people don't listen still doesn't make you pessimistic. In fact, if you believe in Americanism, if you're a capitalist, you are not a pessimist by your own definition, because the capitalists, the people who built the country, they were not pessimists. They confronted the evil they had to in that fat bastard king who was built a lot like Hillary Clinton. And what they did by exposing that corruption, the lies of the utopia that was going to be delivered just around the corner, that's what built the country. And if we're going to take it back, we have to have the optimism. But I don't run away from exposing in an aggressive fashion systemic theft and systemic lies. And that's why I'm always optimistic, even though I'm outing the trillions of dollars that have been stolen since people couldn't figure Barack Obama was a traitor.
Yeah, I'm generally just by nature, I'm an optimist. I kind of figure things will work out. That's my MO. It's worked for me in life. I mean, my wife is sitting right over there. I don't know how
Way to suck up right on live radio, baby. That's a gift.
Don't know how I made that one work, but I did. But
I didn't know how you were going to recover from the Honey Bunny comment, but nicely done.
But it is very, difficult when you're looking around, you see things that are in the news to be pessimistic. I understand that. But right before this segment started, you were talking about the wind and solar and just the whole failure that charade has become over the last several years. And I think that is probably one of the things that you can look at and be the most optimistic about. I mean, how long have we been spoon-fed this propaganda of the whole climate change, narrative and everything like that? It's seemingly Al Gore has been at the charge of it all 70 years. But the whole thing broke down in just the handful of years that Donald Trump has been president.
Yes.
And just the fact that much, just decades of propaganda, could just be all for nothing, essentially, after one administration comes in that's committed to actually bringing climate realism, energy independence, and put that at the forefront. And all of that work has been undone by the globalist elites, by Al Gore, John Kerry, all the failed Democrat candidates.
The truth can beat a lie in milliseconds.
Exactly. Right? So to see how quickly things can change, it just makes it a little bit easier to be optimistic.
And you and I have talked. And if you're aware of the economy, if you're aware of reality, you understand that if we're going to have successful economy, it has to be private. It can't be government financed. Otherwise, the Soviet Union would have been the greatest country in the world. But when you talk about the way in which the most important product to mankind, to civilization, has been manipulated through politics, you're talking about oil. And when you talk about the kind of politicians that have crippled the American private sector, private business, have made things more expensive. It's always the same fraud politicians that built the Soviet Union. They're always promising utopia through government manipulation, government control. And what Trump has done in very short time is not only massively increase the value of the market, what he's done is massively increase the value of the private market. And when you see Elon Musk and the kind of money, not that he made, that's the side benefit. Look at the kind of quality of the economy, the millionaires he built, not just the people that work for his company, people who invested in his companies. What that one man did, the American government has not done in 250 years. What one man did It's astonishing if you can present it in the true fashion versus the propaganda of a fake fraud Indian and a fake communist, both multimillionaires, and nobody can tell you what the hell they did.
Right, yeah. Elizabeth Warren from the tribe I'm a Fraudapoke, I think is the actual.
I like that. Nice.
Feel free to use that.
You are on a roll. You were getting lucky. There's no question about it. Yeah.
But, Elon Musk, he has been just a character that should be studied, honestly, because, he was
He's Hank Rearden.
Everyone loved him on the left for a long period of time. He was the guy that was going to make the electric vehicle viable and all of this, and and then all of a sudden he became a villain because of what? He just wanted to expose waste and fraud in the government, and all of a sudden he's a Nazi.
I'll tell you what else he did that I think made the Leviathan of corruption called our government upset. He paid back the loans. That is something they don't like.
Sure.
They don't like when you pay back the loans because that means you're not indebted to them. And when you look at the scams they run in the name of this green energy, and you look at the success his car company was, he's the only one, more than all the others combined and times them by 2, they're still not Tesla. And it's an interesting reality that he brought both a sense of happiness to the people who bought the product versus all the other ones.
Oh, sure.
They're all regretting the purchase. And the other thing is he speaks against the government when he knows that they're selling lies. And really, he is the Hank Rearden of this generation, as I see it.
It's another reason to be optimistic. We at the Heartland Institute, we did a whole lot of work trying to expose the whole concept of big tech censorship in the era of social media, Twitter, Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg and I forget the guy that was running Twitter at the time.
Oh, the guy with the beard who looked like a Hare Krishna out of the robes.
Yes,
that freaky son of a pig.
They were all.
What was his name? Jack Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey, that's right. Yeah, they were in bed with the government, literally having meetings with the FBI, deciding on what speech was going to be suppressed and all of this. And the new media, social media, that was the earth-shaking thing. That was going to be transform the whole media landscape, and it did, right? So to have them just completely in bed with the government, that were putting their thumbs on the scales to tip the national dialogue in one direction or another for ideological reasons, it seemed insurmountable. We at the Heartland Institute were doing a whole lot of work trying to expose it, push back against it. But what happened, which totally changed the entire conversation, was one man, Elon Musk, came in and said, you know what, I'm just going to buy Twitter, and I will make it a free speech bastion. And overnight, it changed the entire landscape again. And Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, they changed their tune afterwards because now the new precedent was set.
You know what
again,
else?
It's just this example of these things that just seem this mounting adversaries, and it all turns on a dime.
Well, what I also love, too, is when you look at that deal. You and I talked about it when it was going on. Like every other thing that a Democrat does, Dorsey, the Democrat asset and apparatchik, lied about the value of Twitter. He lied about the participants. He lied about the profitability. And during the due diligence period, Elon Musk wanted out. And the government came in because, this is the funny thing about Delaware companies. Delaware is a fraud, not just because Joe Biden was the senator. Delaware is a tax haven, tax fraud, but government-controlled area. They want you to put your LLC there. So when you go to court, you have to go to their crooked rat judges. And they force Elon Musk to overpay and buy when during the due diligence period, when you're supposed to reveal and look at the evidence, it was proven that Dorsey was a fracking liar. And they muscled him under, and now he took it, built on lies, and made it twice as successful and turned it in, which proves winners can only win, even when it looks like they sometimes lose, because they never accept the loss. That's the difference. The Democrat Party is built on losers and lies, promising wins when they can deliver none in 100 years of policies. Every single policy, a financial scandal, and a financial bankruptcy. Their entire system operates outside of reality, and that's what government is.
Yeah, there's just a pattern. There's a pattern in humanity. It's reflected in movies and TV and all of that, where it's just the odds are stacked against the hero. Everything seems to be going against the grain. And then what happens at the end, the good guys rally together, they come through in the 0 hour and make a big change. And we just see this happen again and again in modern history. In historical, American context, it always seems to happen. So I'm a terminal optimist. I really am.
You have to be. And just look at how fast it's rebuilt.
Exactly.
You're talking $18 trillion committed to the country. You're talking 11 states, none of them run by a Democrat mafia, making up 70% of the new GDP. And when you look at Trump's policies, both foreign and trade, it's a hybrid austerity program that's exactly what we need, coupled with the growth. And if you can change the money laundering scheme under Joe Biden, $9 trillion in debt, $4 trillion just to scams of entitlement PPP nonsense and other scandals and the green energy, this is a big win in a year and a half.
Right.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah.
And he will go down as the greatest. And it's funny when you think about Barack Obama. Here's a guy that lied about every policy, about his entire success story. In fact, what he implemented was destruction. The healthcare system has never been worse in this country. Its premiums for insurance have never been higher, costs for insurance. And what happens? Because of Donald Trump, a guy who should be ostracized by anybody who can read, anybody who lived through this country's turmoil of the backdoor nationalization of healthcare in your life. He's touted as what? A statesman? He's a bust-out who couldn't pay for his fracking car. His entire resume is fraud. He's a fraud, and his wife has a 5 o'clock shadow.
That's right. Yeah, there's this concept that it's almost like a tactic. They have to make it seem like it's insurmountable so that you just submit. They make it any attempt to actually try to fix anything is just going to fail. So don't even try. But in the reality is that it's this fake veneer.
Yes.
That they're showing strength when in reality it's easy to poke that little needle in. You see the examples all the time. It's like you're being slowly suffocated, and for one moment you get a fresh breath of air, and all of a sudden you're revitalized. And you see it time and time again. We cover all of these different topics, but one that just popped to mind is the education system. Education system has been government run for how long? Forever. But then it just takes one simple piece of public policy to pass, that's some sort of school choice program, maybe a universal savings accounts or anything like that, and all of a sudden you open this pathway for just immense progress in that sector. And we've seen it, examples of it all throughout the country. And you can do that with healthcare, you can do that with education, you can do that with budget and tax issues. Just reducing taxes through the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act just unleashes this pent-up energy that's down there, because really that energy is there. It's just being suppressed artificially.
I love that.
So once it's released, oh man, there's no stopping.
You know what else I love too? When you look at what Trump's big beautiful bill was and the way he was attacked. I just got off the phone with an accountant, very good friend of mine. People are keeping more of their money. The only trick is, and the only flaw is, you have to have a fracking job to appreciate it. All of these sloths that never work and these phony ghost jobs and these feather-bedded government jobs, they're the ones that fight against keeping your own money. Right. In the same way they fight against DeSantis, who for the first governor in American history said, you know what, you bought your house, you shouldn't pay taxes on it. And all of a sudden it's terrible for everybody. How dare you not want to pay taxes or make people pay taxes on stuff they bought 35 years ago. This is when they reveal themselves. The beauty is after Obama, aside from the economic destruction, aside from the health care and the green energy scams, what he really did is make it very, very clear. The enemy of money is the people that don't want to keep their own, but take somebody else's. Yeah. That is the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is the Nazi, is the Marxist, is the communist, and it's undeniable now. That's the other thing. They've been hiding in the veneer of America. Ooh, we're just like you. No, you're not, you lazy, thieving bastard.
Yeah, the other thing here is, well, so optimism is not something that you could just be passive about. You can't be passive about it. We got to be proactive. That's the thing. You could be optimistic about things happening, but you got to be proactive to manifest that to happen. So I think there's massive fights up ahead of us.
Oh.
I mean, if it wasn't for all of the backlogged work that we've done on all these things, you wouldn't have that platform of exposing that climate fraud, right? Unless we were doing that work in the meantime. It just was that opportunity that's just like, now it's the time to act on that. There's a whole bunch of topics that are like that. I think one major one is amongst the youth. We're seeing in the polling that we do that there is a lot more interest in the ideas of socialism. But on the other side of it, there's a lot more of these Gen Alpha types, or whatever you want to call it, that are rejecting all of that, rejecting that idea that we need the government to do something, because with this other thing that was not controlled by the government is this idea that everyone could be an entrepreneur, whether you're selling your YouTube channel or, you're doing something on Twitch or whatever it is that these, younger folks are doing, or just, doing stuff for Uber, driving around on Uber. All of these people are just kind of being their own little individual entrepreneur. And when they're making a living, eking out a living like that, and they see that the government wants to take 50% or more of that, all of a sudden they're like, wait, maybe this is what my grandpa was talking about.
This is the argument, And it has to be focused on properly. And the problem is you get these morons who run for office, right? Mainly Illinois Republicans. Morons who run for office, they can't make the argument. It's a very simple reality that we're witnessing. You have people that are fighting to keep their own money, and you have people that are fighting to take their money.
Right.
That's the argument. There is no virtue that allows you to steal any other man's property in America, yet somehow we've been infected with this cancer. And this is what the argument needs to be always and forever in every single policy. And when you see what Trump's done on the major policies, he attacks them at their foundation. And Social Security has been a big fraud people got used to because they think they're winning. And when they understand, it's not there. There is no money. They run the whole fracking government like a ghetto financier out of one checking account.
Right.
There's no trust fund. There's nothing. What you have to understand is once you have your own money, even if you pass away, God forbid early, it's yours, goes to your kid. I think these arguments of this old social safety net that they pretend is there need to be challenged the way they were put in. I've always thought Social Security is unconstitutional. It's forced participation. You can't force somebody in it, and you can't steal their money. I think we go back to the drawing board and challenge them, or we work on the secession. That's the answer.
Yeah, the media is another one. I'm just sitting here thinking of things that I could possibly be optimistic about, and the media is another one. This is, again, this like show of strength that we're the newspaper of record. We're CNN. We're the ones that are telling the truth. You know, we get to decide what the narrative is. And then it just be, some UFC commentator, former host of Fear Factor comes in with a podcast and just blows all of these people away.
Well, that's right.
And Donald Trump, I think, helped that when he came in and just started lampooning all of these media sites. And all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, wait, why were we looking at CNN and New York Times? Is this like record of unblemished? What they're lying, So the whole thing just falls apart. Again, that foundation is rotten to the core, and it just takes somebody to start poking at.
And you know what else it takes? The language has been bastardized for 100 years in this country. They're not fracking liberal. I'm liberal. Right. I don't want anybody to do anything. I don't want anybody to pay for anything. I don't want anybody. They are fascists, communists, and Nazis. And you know what? We're going to stop calling them media. Scott Pelling and Leslie Saul not only prove CBS has a terrible retirement policy, they are the Department of Agitation and Propaganda.
Yes.
Media exists in this country. You know what it is? It's Nick fracking Shirley. That kid who probably is just out of college, he's probably still got a laundry basket at his mother's house that has dirty clothes in it. He did more media than those old hags at CBS could ever do.
Right.
Or any of these too ugly to be movie stars and soap opera actresses in Chicago or any other big city. They are propagandists. If you vote Democrat, you immediately have disqualified yourself from being media. You can't be a Democrat and be presenting stories of truth. Can't happen.
And that story of Nick Shirley, made possible by Elon Musk buying Twitter and allowing for a platform that would actually carry stuff like that. Because I think in the Jack Dorsey days, he would have been demonetized, he would have been shadow banned, he would have been pushed off of that, and he, trying to make something happen on Truth Social or something along those lines. So yeah, all this takes is just a little pinprick, takes a little hope, takes a little optimism, and this whole foundation, this whole structure that has been built up over decades, if not centuries, starts to crumble apart. That's why I'm optimistic.
I think pinprick was Dick Durbin's fraternity name. And I think it's important that people know that because he's little Dick Durbin. And his wife is not just sexually frustrated. She's a money launderer. And we got to expose it always and forever. We cannot let them get away and think it's normal. I felt this way my whole life when you would get these guys from the neighborhood and from other neighborhoods. They're like, listen, shut up. I got a guy. You want to get the job and get the hell out of here. You want to talk about greed and people that would hit their mother in the face for a shovel? It's a Democrat. Whether they pretend to work for the village or they pretend to be financiers at Mesro rather than what they really are, systemic corruption. And I love the fact it's against the ropes for the first time in 100 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think, so you join me. You're optimistic then, yes?
Oh, I'm always optimistic.
Absolutely.
There's nothing that makes you feel more optimistic than when you look at a thieving rat moron and say, you, my friend, are a thieving rat moron that probably voted for the office whore Kamala Harris. I feel very optimistic telling them to their face what they are.
If somebody that's listening to this is pessimistic, what they should do to inspire that optimism in their self is just go back and watch the little montage clips of CNN or MSNBC on election night in 2016 and watch them go from this smug, of course Hillary Clinton's going to win. Over the course of 6 hours or so, they go to just absolute terror at the fact that something unthinkable happened and Donald Trump won the election.
Yeah.
That will inspire hope in anybody. I promise you that.
You're going to think, I'm going to tell you, you could see the intimidation of citizens by making them conform to what your definitions are, right? This has always been the trick.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another reason I'm optimistic.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
For 8 years, I had to hear how she was Elizabeth Taylor. I said, she's got a 5 o'clock shadow. Finally, somebody who won a heavyweight fight said it with a microphone. It's about time. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, anytime.
I appreciate it. Where's the best place to keep an eye on everything? Donald Kendall. And by the way, when you say we, was it that group in the foursome with the legs that were white as neon that were hitting in the sand trap and scooping it out?
It probably was.
Those were the we?
It probably
All right, well,
was.
I won't tell anybody. In the meantime, where's the we to keep an eye on everything? Donald Kendall.
Heartland.org is the place you'll find everything. On YouTube, just look up Heartland Institute. You'll find our channel, and StoppingSocialism.com.
All right, great. Let me know if you want that clip to start your Stopping Socialism TV.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you for joining me. 312-642-5600.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Don't miss cutting-edge coverage of daily news on the Alex Marlowe podcast.
For so many years, we thought we would see terror. Is it a Muslim? Now we're starting to think, is it a trans person? And we've indulged all this. It's completely our fault, self-inflicted wound. We've run so hard away from the science and towards insanity. They'll never stop. They will never be done. They will always try to take more. They will always try to create more chaos.
Subscribe to the Alex Marlowe podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-522-2174. 800-522-2174. 800-522-2174.
Everywhere you turn, it's plus, plus, plus. But at Hassel's Mattress, nobody has more plus than us. Our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $293. Plus, through Monday, get a free adjustable base. Plus, a huge selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and other big-name brands. Plus, free next-day delivery and setup. Plus, employee-free showrooms. Whew! All these pluses have me feeling nonplussed. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselist.com.
So at the outing, on the tee box, there were these beautiful plants and flowers, and holding the plant was this really impressive planter box. And the planter box had sides where there were pictures of Donald Trump. There were pictures of Celebrating America 250. It's a really impressive planter pot. It turns out they also have them for tabletops. And it turns out the president of the company is here. He's a bricklayer. And my new friend, Anthony, and I'm going to guess it's Udchek. And Udchek is going to join me, Anthony Udchek from Image Pots. You'll be up in about 7 minutes, or 6 minutes, and we're going to talk to Anthony about his invention and he patented it, and it's a really good idea for not just advertising, but for families. We'll talk to Anthony and more when we get back after news with Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. In the QC Kinetics newsroom, we see clear skies and a low of 58 tonight. 12 are dead after a plane carrying a group of skydivers went down yesterday in Missouri.
That's according to the airport's acting manager, who also said he believes the pilot may have been attempting an emergency landing on the road when the crash happened.
The United Kingdom is banning social media for children under age 16. Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
Social media is making children unhappy. It's making it easier for bullies to harass and abuse them.
The ban would include likely platforms like Snapchat and Facebook. At least 19 have been shot, 6 fatally in gun violence over the weekend in Chicago. One person is dead after a motorcycle crash in Lombard. The accident happened yesterday near Findlay and 22nd. Baseball tonight. The Cubs begin a 6-game homestand against Colorado. The news, a service of Woodland Windows and Doors in Roselle. Brighten your home and make the rooms in your house look better and bigger with larger windows or patio doors this spring. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your consultation today. Your next news comes your way at 6. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Up next, a check of the roads in the traffic center with Jill Urchak.
It still remains clear going outbound on the Edens, while the Kennedy is a 45-minute trip downtown out to O'Hare. Eisenhower crash at Route 83. It's an hour and 10. Post Office to 390. Stevenson 45 minutes to get out to 355 from DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan out 25. There is a crash on the express at 63rd, and delays remain along DuSable Lakeshore Drive and the Tri-State both directions. Westbound Reagan, the exit ramp partially blocked due to a traffic stop at Route 31. And southbound 355, a stall at North Avenue to watch for as well. Traffic is a service of Steiner Homes. Building homes is more than a business, it's a calling. Family owned and dedicated to building custom homes with care, integrity, and craftsmanship you can trust. Visit SteinerHomesLTD.com, Northwest Indiana's leading home builder. Steiner Homes, love where you live. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect mainly clear skies with a low of 60. On Tuesday, it will be mostly cloudy and breezy with a chance of a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Gusty winds and small hail may accompany any thunderstorm. The high will reach 74 degrees. Tuesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Perhaps you're a collector, or perhaps all of a sudden you have a collection. Maybe it's an inheritance. How do you know what it's worth? This is Shaun Thompson for Donley Auction. The market for antiques and collectibles is changing all the time. What is your collection worth right now? Well, I've got an easy way to find out. It's simple. You contact Donley Auctions. With their worldwide audience of live and in-person auctions, they have a good idea of how to tell you exactly what it's worth at exactly right now. They're ready to put top dollar in your pocket. The bigger the collection, the better. Go to DonleyAuctions.com and get the info on all things that they buy and sell to have an idea of exactly what Donley does and how much they need your collection. They have so many buyers. It's a great time to sell. Just simply make a phone call. Donley has traveled all over the country to pick up collections. Just call and talk to the people at Donley Auctions at 815-923-7000. Donley Auctions is your trusted partner in turning your collections into cash. DonleyAuctions.com.
Hey, Chicagoland, Jeff from Jeff Buys Your House. If you're helping a parent or loved one move into senior living, you're dealing with a lot right now. Finding the right location, coordinating the move, managing their care, and then there's the house, often filled with decades of belongings and memories. The last thing you need is months of repairs, showings, and uncertainty about when it will actually sell. Here's how our veteran-led team helps. We listen to your needs first. Flexible closing date? We can do that. Extra time to sort through everything at your own pace? That works too. You keep what matters, family photos, heirlooms, whatever has meaning, and we handle the rest. For nearly 20 years, we've earned hundreds of 5-star reviews by treating families with patience and respect during life's transitions. If you're ready for a no-obligation conversation, call us at 630-895-9530. That's 630-895-9530 or jeffbuysyourhouse.com. That's jeffbuysyourhouse.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Got a large collection? We'll make it fit in your wallet. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560. The answer.
Golf requires goofy pants and a fat. You should talk to my neighbor, the accountant, probably a great golfer. Huge.
Man, that makes me want to see Hillary Clinton drive a ball. She puts a cheek into that son of a gun. It's the long drive for the women. So, I am joined by the creator, the founder, the patent holder.
Yes, sir.
Of this right here, and it's a very interesting concept. And what I love about it is I could see out there on the course, because they come in all sizes, but I could see how well made it is. And then it was through talking to you, I learned it was the Amish. And you know
the Amish, yeah.
My affection for the Amish. I love them. Love them.
The invention's simple, stupid, but
Yeah.
it works.
But listen,
it works.
Yeah, I think it's really brilliant. And I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you why. First of all, it's appealing to the eye. It's functional. You're holding it. And you've created a way to not just advertise, but to celebrate. And, you know, I say this because when you go to a wedding or you go to a party or a backyard party, everybody loves flowers. I mean, especially, you know, in our neighborhood, we get such a short period of time. I mean, you spend a lot of time getting ready and pay attention. So you could put a flower in this creation made by the Amish. If it wasn't for those hats, I'd really be in with that. And I can't figure out if their women shave their legs or not. I don't know the rules of it, but
I don't know either.
The craftsmanship
I've been there multiple times, but I
is
can't tell.
unbelievable. This little one goes on a table, but for a wedding, you could have pictures of the bride and the
Oh,
groom.
yeah, you can put flowers in, you can put candles in it.
It's really impressive, and they come in all sizes, so you could get the big ones for your backyard, and this thing ain't blowing away.
No.
And I love the fact that you could change it. So if your grandkids are coming over, if your kids are coming over, if your girlfriend's coming over, you just throw a sheet over it. It's all fantastic.
It's been great just putting images of my kids. You know, my kids are 15 years older when they were wrestling.
7.
Yeah, when they were wrestling, you know.
7 kids. You guys got a
7.
TV?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I love the fact that in between bouts of making kids, you came up with this incredible idea because you and I share, well, you are an actual bricklayer.
Yes, I am.
I was supposed to be a bricklayer, but that'll make you bust your ass in a different way. So you better get real creative or start to get your spine fused.
At 56 years old, you got to come up with something new, you know?
I mean, I love that you did this. You called an attorney, right? And you tell him, I got an idea. And you create this, and you make it so simple and easy. And I love the fact that you made the name easy. Image Pots. That's it.
That's it. You know, we looked online. I couldn't figure out a name at first, and I punched in images of flower pots, and then I'm like, why don't I just name it Image Pots?
So now I love the idea, but I'm going to take it up a notch. I
Okay.
absolutely love it. So we're going to figure out exactly what to do, because you know what I think would be great in this. You ready for this? I'm going to give you a multi-billion-dollar idea right now.
Okay, let's
You
do it.
ready?
Yeah.
You put a screen in here that you can put from your computer or your phone, rotate the pictures, Mom,
Oh
for
yeah.
a family
oh, yeah.
party.
Yeah.
And
I'd
you
have to
could
make the
see-
slide a little bit thicker, but yeah, we're already
Amish could do
thinking
it.
of it.
They're
yeah.
not. They ain't got time on their hands. Their
I
wives
need
don't
an
shave their
IT
legs.
guy.
They're
Yeah.
interested for more work. So when you
Digital.
think about this, you put the digital, right?
Yeah.
And now you could see the face change as the years and the misery beat on the husbands, and the wives become more beautiful as the husbands become uglier. I think this could really be something.
I believe so too, Shaun, and I appreciate the time on air to show you exactly what Image Pots can do.
No, I love it for events, man. Because, you know, you go to a wedding, you're staring at the center table, and people are like, oh, it's not. And it's true. The flowers are nice. But I'd rather look at the pictures and see all of it. I love. And by the way, I was golfing out here with people who were terrible golfers, but wonderful people. And you had pictures of Trump through his campaign, through the victory. Now, did you pick that out, or did the station?
No, we picked them out.
And it was
Yeah,
really something.
It was all about the vibe of 560 AM
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And what was nice too is you had celebration for 250 years, and it's just absolutely fantastic idea. I love it, and I love it's simple, and I love that it looks good, and it's heavy, it's solid, and all I got to do is throw flowers in there that will die, and I will put more money in there.
And then you can change the images.
Yeah, I like it. I really do. How about urns? Can you put an urn in there?
Yeah, I don't
Why,
see
you can
why
do
not.
whatever you
right?
want. Yeah. Throw the stash in there. All right, and everybody can take a look at this at imagepots.com.
Yes, sir.
The name is simple, the idea is simple, but I'll tell you what, I think it's
You can also go on my Instagram, too.
Oh, you got
Please
an
friend me on Instagram account. Yeah, Image Pots.
I'm going to do that.
I like to get some more followers, you know, get the pots out.
I'm going to do that. And we take it digital. You cut me in for a nice chunk of the dough. Don't worry, we'll figure
I know
something out.
nothing, Shaun.
I got a guy.
I grew up in the city. I know
have
nothing.
to tell you, Anthony, I absolutely love the idea. I think this is going places, and I love the fact that you can do something a little different during entertaining your friends or parties. I think
you
that's
just buy one pot, and you can last a lifetime. You know, you can just change the images.
Come on,
the decor is
pot.
great.
What do you? We don't want to be short-sighted here. We buy 3, 4 at a time.
By 10.
All right, you buy 10.
Or you can call me.
Anthony's got a retirement to go with. Those bricklayers-
847-337-2672. You can call me personally.
I loved it. 847-337-2672. Online, check it out. Image Pots, order them now while you can. We take this to the next level, Anthony.
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate you making
appreciate the time.
for me.
Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you very much. A pleasure, really. 312-642-5600. We'll take your calls, and the beauty of capitalism, how anybody can come up with an idea, call an attorney, and you own it, and it can be a game changer for backyards and events. Thank you so much. 312-642-5600 when we get back.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Hello?
Sir, this is Officer Peterson. There's been a string of break-ins in the area, and your office, it was hit.
Hit? What do you mean? We were robbed?
Looks like the back door lock was easily pried open, and they moved through the building like they knew exactly what to take. We see wires everywhere. No computers.
What? No computers? I just upgraded everything.
Looks like they moved fast. We only found out because a neighboring business had their alarm go off. Do you have any security cameras?
No, nothing.
Don't wait until it's too late. Goldilocks protects Chicagoland businesses with custom security solutions. From reinforced commercial doors with keyless entry to cameras and 24/7 monitoring that alerts authorities immediately. Schedule a free on-site assessment at GoldilocksInc.com. Again, that's GoldilocksInc.com. Plus, AM 560 listeners get their first 3 months of monitoring free with a new install. Call 708-889-5600. That's 708-889-5600. Goldilocks, Chicago's premier locksmith, doors, and security systems company since 1981.
Raj Shah, host of Unleash Your Wealth.
You know, there are a lot of clients and people coming in from the radio into our office saying, I don't want to lose any money. I need to protect the money I have saved over the last 20 or 30 years, where you have strategies where you can structure an income stream where it has an inflation protection so that as inflation, if it continues to go up, your income will go up.
Unleash Your Wealth, Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
You need a construction company, but who?
Call Crosscom.
A construction company you can trust that shares your Christian and conservative values. For decades, Crosscom has been doing work in Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and Wisconsin. Roofs, siding, windows, doors, gutters, basically everything for your home or business, even solar. Quality work and professional services that make you feel great about your decision to work with Crosscom.
Call Crosscom.
630-871-5500. Give them a chance to earn your business. If your repairs are due to storm, fire, or flood damage, you need to
call Crosscom.
They're licensed public adjusters. They work for you, not the insurance company. Crosscom will work to get you the money you deserve, the maximum payout. They know the insurance companies and how to deal with them. They win for you.
Call Crosscom.
Crosscom Construction and Public Adjusters.
This is Dan Lights with Crosscom. You can trust us with your home or business for high quality work and fair prices. It's the only way we do business.
630-871-5500. CrosscomPublicAdjusters.com.
AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
You can always tell squirrel's back, huh? So this is, I'm dying to talk to the gun guy. And it's fascinating as we talk about how societies are collapsing in Democrat areas and how used to it you get. I saw this news story while I was getting ready for the show. Salerno's was broken into twice? Twice.
Police are investigating after burglars broke into a West Town restaurant twice in 1 week. The owner of Salerno's on Tap shared surveillance video of both break-ins. The first happened Wednesday morning. You can see 3 burglars smash.
Now, see, years ago, if it wasn't a restaurant, you get 2 junkyard dogs and you starve them for a couple of days, and you hope somebody breaks in. we're going to have our friend come on to talk about guns, and you could sit in your restaurant yourself, but don't stick around, because if you're not part of the El Rukins, you will do time. The El Rukins, on the other hand, the revolving door, wherever the Democrats are in charge of the so-called justice system, which is occupied, manipulated, and controlled by Democrat mafia members.
His friends say 30-year-old Makray Wright came from a big family. They say he and his sister were shot overnight on the 6500 block of South Hermitage.
We grew up together.
Antoine Cabil says he found out Wright, his lifelong friend, died just this morning.
If you know him, you'll love him. Like, he wasn't never no person that want to come out star and stuff or bullying people.
Police say a 31-year-old man, a 30-year-old man, now identified as Wright, and a 26-year-old woman who friends say was Wright's sister were outside their Hermitage Avenue home when an SUV drove up to them and someone inside fired shots.
Victim number 2, we had a few.
This is sickening, right? 16 people shot, 7 mortadel, and that is on the time that they count. So if it happens on Thursday at 11:59, it doesn't really quite make those numbers. If it happens at Sunday night or becoming Monday morning at 12:01, doesn't count the numbers. So in a small period of time, you had 16 people shot, 7 dead, and guess what? For that once great city, now an example of why you should never vote for a Democrat. That's improvement. That's how you know you live in a fracking ghetto, when improvement is when 16 people get shot and only 7 die. That's how standards can devolve into accepting absolute scandal, fraud, murder, and mayhem.
Now, the latest out of Indiana, where the Family and Social Services Administration is now demanding the return of some $200 million in improper payments they say are linked to fraud. FSSA wants...
So it was very interesting driving up. I drove up, and I tell you, I love to experience the drive up. I jump off the interstate. I take some of the main thoroughfares, and you see, I'll tell you what, you haven't seen poverty until you jump from that Florida, Alabama, Florida, Georgia. There's some impoverished areas, and you look at these lots of land, and they have these mobile homes, which is all that really you see there. And they look dilapidated, and the people have a tow truck or they're working on a car. And 201 of them, you know what I saw? Trump 2024, Trump 2020. It's amazing how the poorest people in the country are supporting the president who you're taught to believe steals from him. Everybody's stealing. The most corrupt president ever. It's fascinating to look how the people who may not have a tremendous amount of money, but what they have is a tremendous amount of pride in their country, how they would take truth over welfare, how they would take truth over scams. And then you start jumping around these states. And I like Indiana. I really do. I like the people who run it. I like some of the areas, but you can always spot the Democrat area. There is one county that has 530 windmills. A windmill is $4 million a piece. There is no way to generate enough energy to break even before the windmill can no longer function. And it's fascinating to look at this one county where people are poor and think $2.2 billion sits there in just acquisition costs, not including the $8,000 every quarter that the people are paid, the farmers are paid to pretend those windmills are actually functioning. They are not. And that area would have much rather had the $2.2 billion to go into some sort of infrastructure that the people could use rather than scams that the few can steal.
And the other thing I say to Europe, we will not allow a windmill to be built in the United States. They're killing us. They're killing the beauty of our scenery, our valleys, our beautiful plains. And I'm not talking about airplanes. I'm talking about beautiful plains, beautiful areas in the United States. And you
know what I love about New Yorkers? They sometimes over-define words, and then they under-define concepts. So he knew that he's talking to Democrats. He better talk about the actual, the plains of the country versus the plains in the air. But what he's really revealing is there will be no more fraud and scams that Barack Obama made a fracking fortune on. And when you talk about this wind and this solar, this is a multi-trillion-dollar boondoggle that keeps these areas poor, keeps people poor, and evaporates the most precious commodity to a family that works, the family of their dollar what it buys. All of this is why Democrats would rather pretend they're victims rather than perpetrators.
Power ministries to reward cronies and to try to jail his opponents.
his personal attorney, now runs the Department of Justice, which has repeatedly gone after his political enemies. Ask Jerome Powell. Sent them after James Comey.
Jerome Powell, a very interesting character. He's a government creature. Never did anything of any consequence in the private sector, only in the government sector. And only Jerome Powell could do a rehab for $2 billion. And an investigation into that moron is called abuse, lawfare, versus what? The fake rape allegations of which you had to move the statute of limitations and hire some schizophrenic with a cat named Nipples to pretend that she was raped by Donald Trump versus watching SVU, Law and Order, season 13, episode 11, where she copied the script. It's simple to pick these frauds out.
James Adam Schiff, he sent them after Tim Walz, and a woman that a jury found Donald Trump had sexually abused.
The jury, was it made up of people who were dumb enough to vote for Democrats? Because then it's not a legitimate jury. Then it's just a excuse to perpetrate true lawfare.
You don't feel like a victim?
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
And you're a lying schizophrenic. Poor Gloria Vanderbilt's kid, the disgrace of the Vanderbilt family, Cooper, he was embarrassed. Let's get off air. It's fascinating to watch how lawfare was used and you got used to it. That's the problem. We get used to the abuse rather than demanding success.
California currently has the highest gas prices in the country, driven largely by environmental regulations and the nation's highest gas tax.
That's policy, including, killing refineries, killing transmission lines, killing gas pipelines.
On the helicopter ride to the platform, we see miles of deep blue ocean. But back in 2015, this same waterway was coated black after that pipeline, operated by a different company at the time, ruptured, spilling an estimated 120,000 gallons of crude oil. All oil production stopped here for more than a decade.
This is going to be a fight.
Alex Katz is executive director of the Environmental Defense Center, which is suing to stop Sable.
Why do you oppose Sable?
The problem with the pipeline is that it doesn't have an effective way of preventing corrosion.
Now, it's funny when you talk about the pipeline, because you're supposed to be outraged that the pipeline broke. Nobody was outraged when Joe Biden blew the pipeline to start the Ukrainian-Russian war.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
He blew the pipeline, creating the largest ecological disaster, man-made or by nature, that has ever been done, and not one eco-Nazi Democrat said a fracking word. And the reason is, they knew he had soiled his trousers earlier that day.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Fracking moron.
Birthday to you. All right.
Let me ask you something. Does your garage floor look bad? Covered in salt, cracked, or stained from the winter's brutal blast? Well, I've got a fix for you so you can start enjoying your garage this spring. Contact my good friends at Level 10 Coatings. Level 10 brought my garage floor from dirty and gross to showroom, shiny new in just one day. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, permanent durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. Schedule your free quote today and mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com. Level10coatings.com or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
It is that time of year again to save babies by providing ultrasounds with our friends at Preborn. You know how this goes. We've done it every single year at this time. All you have to do is pick up the phone and say, I want to provide a free ultrasound to a girl. Give her the chance to see the truth of what's happening in her body. Every $28 helps do that, saving one baby. $280 can do that, help save 10 babies. More does more. The phone number is 833-850-2229. 833-850-BABY. Join us saving babies with Preborn again this year. We're going to save hundreds of babies, one at a time, 2 or 5 or 10 at a time. That phone number again is 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229. Or go online to 560theanswer.com/baby.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
You know how you know you're not at a Democrat function? When you go in the bathroom and there's no soap. That's how you know that decent people wash their hands. You know what the DNC has all the time? Not good ideas. A lot of soap because they're filthy and they're dangerous. We're going to talk to our next guest you need to know about if you're going to live among Democrats. Illinois Concealed Carry Training.com. We'll be joined by Gary Carr, and that'll be after Foxweiser.
This is a Fox News alert. All crew members believed to be lost. I'm Lisa Lacera. The Air Force says 8 service members are believed to be dead after a B-52 bomber crashed at Edwards Air Force Base in Southern California. In a statement, the Air Force said initial indications are that the crash was not survivable. Emergency crews responded after the bomber went down about 11:20 a.m. The Boeing B-52 Stratofortress is a long-range bomber. It's been used in conflicts from Vietnam to Iran. Oil prices are falling as President Trump announces a deal to end the Iran conflict.
President Trump is telling ships of the world to start their engines and let the oil flow.
I think a lot of great things are going to happen in the Middle East right now, and very importantly, the oil is plummeting down, and the stock market is shooting up like a rocket.
A memorandum of understanding with Iran is intended to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and extend a ceasefire for 60 days. Text of the agreement will not be released for a few days, the president says, and Vice President J.D. Vance concedes details still need to be worked out over the destruction of Iran's enriched uranium and the timing of sanctions relief.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. The deal's framework was signed electronically with a formal signing expected Friday in Switzerland. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says the conflict may be winding down, but the problems for the American people remain.
Iran has more control over the Strait of Hormuz today than before the war began. Gasoline prices are still dramatically higher than before the war and will remain so for a long time.
And Schumer says President Trump needs to inform Congress of the details of the agreement. California Governor Gavin Newsom says the Justice Department is investigating him and his wife. He accuses the administration of targeting him for political purposes as he considers a run for president in 2028. America's listening to Fox News.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the AM 560 Traffic Center.
westbound Reagan at Route 31. We have crews removing that stall that was blocked. That is going well. The Veterans Memorial still a bit sticky southbound, and the Tri-State scattered delays either way. Due Saba Lakeshore Drive, also the same. The Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, 20 to Montrose, 45 to the airport, and the outbound Eisenhower. Give yourself an hour and 10 out to 390. That crash being moved off to the side at 83, and the Stevenson outbound 45 minutes. Due Saba Lakeshore Drive out to 355. Outbound Ryan 23, the express accident at 63rd being pulled off as well. Traffic is a service of Steiner Homes. Building homes is more than a business, it's a calling. Family owned and dedicated to building custom homes with care, integrity, and craftsmanship you can trust. Visit SteinerHomesLTD.com, Northwest Indiana's leading home builder. Steiner Homes, love where you live. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchak.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect mainly clear skies with a low temperature of 60. Tomorrow, Tuesday, will bring mostly cloudy conditions with gusty winds, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm possible, which could bring small hail. The high will reach 74 degrees. Tuesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Life is full of challenges, but you don't have to face them alone. At intouch.org, you'll find powerful sermons from Dr. Charles Stanley, daily devotionals, and resources designed to strengthen your faith and bring hope into your everyday life. Whether you're searching for encouragement, biblical wisdom, or practical guidance, intouch.org is here to help you grow closer to God's promises. Discover truth that speaks to your heart. Visit intouch.org today.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
I like this topic a lot, especially when you realize what we're living through. You see, in order to take over society, you must demoralize it. You must turn it into chaos, which is why these so-called lawyers, which I think it was the Daily Sun that proved pretty much any moron can become a lawyer. When these lawyers decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to use the power of government to protect predators. In fact, let's release these savage beasts on society, and as they're distracted with the turmoil, we'll steal their freedoms. But when it's happening to you and the danger is seconds away, policemen are minutes away, you better have something other than a good idea. You better have a pistola. I've always believed this. And in my neighborhood, we had them long before there was a Illinois concealed carry license, but we were efficient in my neighborhood. Now we're just wise, and one of the safest areas still in a ghetto, because what happens is people realize you better not break in there at home. Odds are you'll get 2 in the cheek. My next guest knows this from being a police officer, and now he is an essential piece of Illinois' concealed carry training.com. Gary Carr, who started his police career in 1976, where to get a DUI, you pretty much had to run into a cop. It was very interesting to see the transformation of law enforcement through the years, isn't it?
That was back in the day when we could actually take care of our residents. We can't do that anymore.
It was fantastic.
We used to be able to drive Joe home when he messed up. We can't do that anymore. We got these body cams.
And I'll tell you what, in my neighborhood, you know who the criminals were afraid of? The coppers. Not because they were going to get arrested, but because they might end up in a shallow grave next to a railroad track. But those days are long over with, and now the people have to take care of themselves, which is why, as far as I'm concerned, everybody I know still has the same philosophy. Arm yourself. Know how to arm yourself. Know what's important and know what the rules are. And now the game has changed with this burnout. It really has, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, the burner, lethal's not for everybody. And I have burner for those folks, because usually the first 2 hours of my lecture on a Saturday, they know whether it's for them or not.
Yeah.
Instead of having them leave, I've got an option for them.
Right.
But people need to know the rules. They need to know the law, and that's what I'm heavy on. I'm heavy on the rules side. But unfortunately, a lot of these people really aren't taking this seriously enough. They're not going to get the training that they need, and they're not taking it seriously enough. So I could really lighten up on the law portion of that side, because they're probably not going to survive the gunfight.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No need to know too much stuff.
I could probably cut out half of my lecture.
Well, it's interesting to realize and as Illinois became more of an American state, and they started to allow people to have the Second Amendment uninfringed the way it. Well, not really. It's never uninfringed. But when you look at the way in which they made the rules, it's funny because my friends and I caught that, right? I was young when they said, okay, you can have a license, but first you got to have your FOID card. All right. Yeah. So you go get a FOID card. And then it was the concealed carry. All right, go and get the concealed carry. But it's a very interesting, the process, because, you think you know about guns until you're going through the process. But what you also learn is the laws and the restrictions that are always in place. And if you're going to use it, I'm sure you love the news stories where the citizen defends himself and kills the scoundrel. But there's still liability if they don't know everything, and every I isn't dotted and every T crossed, right?
Yeah, you can do it wrong a million ways. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why we also provide legal defense plans. Criminal defense, civil defense.
Sure.
You got to have it. It's really important.
In a Democrat area, you need a lawyer.
You're going to have one. You have to have competent legal counsel.
I've actually out my card here. I still might have it.
What you got?
I still might have it. Look at.
Yeah, you do.
Huh?
You didn't turn it into that free country?
No. You want to know something? And you have to turn in your license and all that. But I kept this because it really is. When you think about people who need weapons the most, it's an arduous, expensive process in Illinois. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it right, and at least you get value when you learn the right way, don't you?
Well, yeah, you get some value, but quite actually, my class is unconstitutional if you think about it.
I know.
Shall not be infringed. 5-year-olds understand that.
Of course.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, because it's such a litigious society. Now, listen, in my neighborhood, you don't stick around. Nobody's signing autographs after that. You get the hell out of there.
Nobody sees nothing.
Everybody's got a shovel in the trunk. Yeah. But the reality is when they break into your house and you got to put 2 in their face, you have to understand. You got to better follow the rules or your kids will be homeless. They'll take everything you have because this government specifically is always going to side with the predator. And that's where you guys come in, both with the legal defense and with the training and with the understanding the law, right?
Yeah, and the police aren't the bad guys in these things. These systems are in place. They have to run their course, but you get involved in one of these deadly force situations that the bad guy brings upon you, you can do a lot of stuff wrong. And the first thing that most of these folks do wrong is they talk. They continue to talk. They continue to talk.
Say nothing.
Yeah, don't say anything. It's not the bad police officers trying to put a case on you.
Like
we don't even know you.
The CEO of Southern Poverty Law Center, you take the 5th. Like Dave Chappelle, you take the 5th. If there's any question of you living to a Democrat, talking to a Democrat, take the 5th.
Well, there's a way to do it. You don't have to be confrontational. It's as simple as, officer, that person tried to kill me. I had to defend myself. I'd feel a lot better if my attorney was here. That's all you got to say. You go beyond that, you got problems.
Really? Well, what's interesting, too, is there's a very popularized case that I covered it a couple years ago in California. Guy was a veteran. He was 65 years old. He was a frail guy. some gangbanger came to rob him. He shot him. And they arrested the guy. And he went to jail. You imagine this? You're in your house. You're watching television. Somebody breaks in your house. You kill this rat pig. And you do time and you go to jail. So what are some of the things that when people come to your class, you tell them from the get-go, do this, say this, make sure you understand what happens if you incriminate yourself?
But most of the most police officers, 99.9, almost infinite, are fair and square people. We're cut from the same cloth as healthcare, your doctors, your nurses. We want to do right by the community, by all our communities. But the horrible narrative on the police, it's just everybody's doesn't trust us, and the war on police is very real, and it's coming to a head. It's unfortunate. We're leaving in mass.
I have to tell you, it's such a difference to live it in real time. To see the angst, when I bump into coppers still when I come back here, and you bump into coppers at places, you could see they're very defensive. Versus when you go to these southern states and you see the difference, the people thank them because the people understand. Government, in theory, is supposed to protect you. But when you're living under these kind of regimes of mafia control, like Chicago Democrats, they're not only aren't they going to protect you, they're looking to jazz you up and hang you up. And it's not right. It's 90% of the good coppers, but you know as well as I do, there were a couple of coppers that used to sit behind that Burke's house, wait for the Viagra to kick in, to go by the sidebroad's house. You do not want to get questioned by those guys because those are gangsters. And that's the thing. Jobs don't have virtue, men do. So know your rights and understand what you're supposed to say, what you're not supposed to say, correct?
Absolutely right.
Now, we're going to talk about this Byrna, and you're going to be kind enough at the event. We're going to raffle one off. It's very exciting because that's a very exciting weapon. It's a very exciting defense tool, and it's not a gun. So I asked you, when I drive up, not every state's Florida. And it's funny, as you get more north, you got more of a problem if you got a pistola in the car, because in Florida, I don't need a FOID card anymore. I don't need concealed carry. I don't need anything. It's America down there. But as you come up here, you have to know the rights. But a Byrna is not a gun. You could carry it anywhere at any time, right?
It's not a gun. It's a CO2 launcher, and you can carry it in all 50 states.
And when you get hit with that son of a gun,
it hurts.
Well, and there's ones that have certain pepper sprays and gases, you know what I mean? Because it hurts, and they don't know if they've been shot, but you also want to have an effect that is changing. And as a cop, you hit somebody with pepper spray, you hit somebody with the right formula, you will make them less dangerous than ever.
Oh, they're way less dangerous. In fact, they're not even anticipating that type of thing. They don't know what they're hit with, quite honestly. They may think they're fatally shot.
Sure.
So usually the first one who gets rounds downrange, whether it's one of these kinetic 68 caliber balls from a Byrna or live fire, it changes everything.
I shot it here. You had a nice little.
That was fun, wasn't it?
It was a blast. It's like shooting. It's mimicking an actual weapon. And it makes the same sound, so it's easy to see how people could think, wait a minute, I'm shot, and, try to get that, because it's natural instinct. When you get shot, very few guys are John Wayne in the shootist, and they shoot back. So you will deter pretty much anybody coming up to your car or approaching you when you're walking down the street. And I couldn't help but think, when you saw how normal it became, and is today in the Loop, for these savage animals to punch women in the face, this is something women specifically need. It's not a gun. It's not going to kill you and whatever, but through a brief learning period, you could defend yourself when you see the Chicago Democrats. Nobody's running to the aid of these women. I think every woman should absolutely have a Byrna.
We need to start getting back to what it used to be. We used to, if somebody was in peril, somebody needed, they were in trouble, they needed help, we'd go to their aid. It didn't matter who they were, where they were, what color they were. We would just go help them.
Yeah.
Now you got all these idiots sticking that cell phone out in everybody's face.
Yeah, sure, that deters things. And what's interesting is getting used to the news in Florida. So my first week, and I live in a very nice area, but just north of me, there's a couple Democrats, which are always very dangerous. And there was an old man in a FedEx, and he was like sending a package to the grandkids, in Boston. But unbeknownst, first, everybody in Florida has a gun. Everybody has a gun. So some third world savage walks in to rob the FedEx. And they're reading the news, and, the news is always about the weather in Florida. There's a storm that's coming here on Thursday. And then all of a sudden, Frank Miller from Boston shot an assailant in a temple. He was questioned and congratulated by the policeman on the scene, and they let him go, and they're having a parade for him next month. It's completely different. Shoot that son of a gun. Every old man puts two in the assailant's head, where in Illinois, he'd be the only guy doing time as the El Rukins were back out on the street. Don't you think?
Yeah, one of our legal defense attorneys said it the best. Actually, one press of that trigger, you go right from victim to defendant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the best part about IllinoisConcealedCarry.com. And just to give an idea, because people are going to want to call, is it an arduous process? Do you have different plans for different people? What's the ground level for somebody who wants to go through the process in the right way?
Well, I'm going to get that URL correct. It's ConcealedCarryChicago.com now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, way to incorporate.
ConcealedCarryChicago.com. Yeah.
Sure, because if you're Googling Chicago, you definitely want this to come up
Yeah,
before
it's coming up now.
where to go.
So, I'm sorry, what was the question, Shaun?
What's the base to get people started in the,
Well, the 16-hour class. If you're going to get a concealed carry license here in Illinois, you have to be there and present for 16 hours. I break mine up Saturday, Sunday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I also do the renewal classes. Those are 3-hour minimal classes. Between that 4th and 5th year, your concealed carry is valid for 5 years, and it's going to expire. That's not what they're doing on these cards now. The FOID cards, it's a single card instead of the old blue card that folks used to get, and it'll say CCL yes or CCL no in the upper right-hand corner of that FOID card.
Yeah.
That's your CCL. But it also does not have an expiration date. So the FOID is good for 10.
Yeah.
The CCL is good for 5. People have to stay on top of this.
Right. Now, will you go, and when this first all started, there were guys, I took advantage of this. I had them at the cigar store. We had like 5-6 guys. They gave a class. It was convenient. Do you offer that where guys could hire you and women could hire you, get in a group, and you go and do the 16 hours or no?
It's so much easier to come to my professional classroom. I can seat 40, 50 people.
Oh,
and I've been doing this every week for the past 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, if you ever...
A lot easier for them to travel, but thanks for asking.
Well, listen, you got to throw it out there.
Yeah.
You know, there might be something for the fellas. You have a stripper come out and keep everybody entertained. I think there's always a way to pep up business, but I'm an entrepreneur. I like to think about growing things. But in the meantime, you could still go to Illinois Concealed Chicago Training.
Well, it could be IllinoisConcealedCarryTraining.com, or it could be ConcealedCarryChicago.Training.com. I'm sorry, ConcealedCarryChicago.com. That's a new one. I got to get used to it.
Come on, guns and strippers. I think you should really workshop that with the
I
rest
like
of
your style,
partners.
but my wife won't.
That's all right. Next, you never know. Somebody might need a job. You're putting people through college through entrepreneurial series. At least that's what I used to go with. I don't do that anymore. I gave it up. Right, honey? 312-642-5600. We'll take your calls and comments when we get back. Thank you very much for joining me, Gary Carr.
Good
I
to see you.
appreciate it. You too. We'll be back.
Marxists, socialists, and communists are not welcome on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
Making the switch to a new communications and IT company may seem like a big ordeal, but if you're not getting the reliable support, consistent internet, and secure solutions your company needs, meet Access One, your local Chicagoland IT experts. Access One has been powering Chicago businesses with secure, reliable IT solutions for over 30 years from our headquarters right here in the West Loop. Whether it's VoIP phones, dedicated internet, managed cybersecurity, cloud backups, or 24/7 support, Access One is here for you. Serving thousands of companies from Naperville to the North Shore, Access One is Chicago-owned and Chicago-run, a trusted IT partner for law firms, clinics, tech startups to manufacturers. We'll make the switch easier than you think. Let's talk. Call 800-804-8333 or visit AccessOneInc.com. Rated top 5% in customer satisfaction and a Better Business Bureau A+ rated business. That's AccessOneInc.com. Tech made personal, locally.
You know what really keeps me up at night? It's the criminals feel more and more bold. They have no fear of any consequences because there are none. So I did what anyone with a family should do. I called Goldilocks. They're not just some cookie-cutter security company. Goldilocks has been protecting Chicagoland homes and businesses for 4 decades, 40 years. And they actually listen. Their technician comes out to the house. He takes a look at what you need to make your house a smart home with a security system you can monitor from anywhere. It's built specifically for me and my family. Motion sensors, smart locks, cameras, monitoring, all customized. I don't trust anybody in Illinois to protect my family. I do it, and I did it by calling Goldilocks. I trust Goldilocks to keep my house, my property, and my family safe. Tell them Shaun Thompson sent you, and Goldilocks will include 3 months free monitoring with any new installation. Call Goldilocks at 708-889-5600. That's 889-5600 or visit them online at GoldilocksInc.com.
Picture warm Gulf breezes, turquoise waters, white sand beaches. Now, add evenings of conversation with Salem Media's Mike Gallagher, Scott Jennings, Larry O'Connor, and Jennifer Horn. This November, sail from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Mexico on a 7-day journey built for those who love this country. Book your cabin today when you text the word cruise to 94878. Celebrate America's 250th anniversary the right way on the Gulf of America Cruise. Book your cabin now. Text the word cruise to 94878.
I'm alpine skier Michaela Schifrin. I've won the most World Cup ski races in history. But what does success mean to me? Success means discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us, and it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management firms in the country. If you're looking for success, surround yourself with the people who will get you there. If you're an advisor or investor, choose Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
AM 560. The answer.
All right. I have to tell you the shocking thing about watching government supremacists always advocate for more taxes on people that live the righteous, honest life of a worker in America is astonishing to me. The idea that there would be outrage over the insistence that people who make their money keep it is really what you need to focus on when you hear these arguments against eliminating or easing taxes on people. I never thought I would live in America when the advocate would be take their money, they don't fracking deserve it, and give it to the crackhead heroin addict who's just defecated on the sidewalk. That's the good guy that gets the money? Therein lies the problem. When you hear about the Florida property tax plan, look at the people who advocate against it. These are the same people who say nothing when a single mother of two buys a house for $208,000 in a mediocre at best neighborhood in Chicago, and her taxes get raised to $17,000 a year. They say nothing. But then they're going to comment negatively about people who own the property, who not just pay taxes, but rebuild it, maintain it, pay electric, pay water, and the communist next door wants them to pay more in property taxes. That's how you know you're talking to a rat.
What the state of Florida is doing, again, it is such an uncommon thing for a state government and a state like Florida, which, by the way, has a top 20 economy in the world. I mean, Florida rivals nation states around the world. For us to have a budget surplus really, shows everyone what it means to be fiscally responsible and what it means to be a good steward of the taxpayer dollars.
But yet the idiot in California, who has burned through any kind of an idea that they were fiscally solvent and now is in the hole hundreds of billions of dollars. This is the big rising star in the Democrat mafia. The real example of what's happening is the people who want to take someone else's money are Democrats. The people who want to keep their own are not. And the other thing to keep in mind, they're not taking the money to use it. They're taking the money to steal it over and over again and launder it through their system of corruption.
The Federal Reserve has revealed that U.S. NGOs have more in assets than the combined 2025 GDP estimates for Japan, Germany, and India combined.
And the people who are the recipients, the manipulators who give kickbacks to Democrat mafias, they're also racists.
Details of even more alleged fraud committed by the center against its own donors and banks. According to this new indictment, a Southern Poverty Law Center employee was actually dating an informant inside a white supremacist group, all while the center paid that same informant over $1 million in donor money. And when two members of the KKK reached out to the Law Center, hoping to take advantage of a program that helped people leave extremist groups, well, the Law Center paid them to stay in the KKK instead. All told, the Law Center paid out $4 million, over $4 million of their own donors' money to the very extremists that they claim to be fighting, all using...
I'm around a lot of people who have supported Donald Trump, who have lobbied rallied, ran against Democrats. I don't know one person that ever said, you know what I'm going to do at the end of the month? I'm going to give money to the frackin' KK. I don't know one. And yet these are the idiots who are what? Representatives of the Southern Poverty Law Center? You are the scum of the earth. Did you really think you would get away with it this long? Did you really think we didn't know? You've been stealing elections and money for 45 years out in the open.
David, switching gears here for a moment, the Justice Department is now highlighting this memo, a controversial memo from 2021. What can you tell us about that today?
This goes back to Attorney General Merrick Garland's time in office, October 2021. DOJ leaders insist the Biden Justice Department, quote, targeted parents. And today, the DOJ announced a formal probe. Fox obtained emails from October 2021 that show senior DOJ leaders expressed discomfort with a memo that then AG Garland sent soon after the FBI put out this memo about school board meetings. That's what Garland put in his memo. The memo instructs the FBI agents to be on alert for any threats to school board members and was written just days after the National School Boards Association wrote to President Biden equating some parental behavior across the country to, quote, domestic terrorism. In one of the dissenting emails, Aisha, written 2 days before Garland released his memo, a senior DOJ official called the memo stupid, 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 end quote. Another replied, quote, if they do this, they might as well rename the damn thing the Anti-MAGA Task Force, end quote. The NSBA eventually apologized for its domestic terrorism language.
Take your apology. I'll tell you, it's a fascinating thing, this ferret face fraud. Chicago Democrat, $44 million. How did you make your money, ferret face? And don't tell me that you somehow got it from your father-in-law. He's just a crooked Democrat judge from New York, too. Corey in Woodlawn.
Hey, Shaun, did I hear that right? The NGOs stole more money than the GDP of Japan?
I think they left out the word stole, although I like the way you think, kid. And what they said has more money. Let's listen to it together.
The Federal Reserve has revealed that U.S. NGOs have more in assets than the combined 2025 GDP estimates for Japan, Germany, and India combined. India and Japan's GDP each just over $4 trillion, Germany $5 trillion, about $13.5 trillion together. Guess what? The combined assets held by U.S. NGOs equals $14.2 trillion.
$14.2 trillion with a T. So you know what I want to do? I'm gonna tap my inner Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, because NGOs haven't done half of what Elon Musk did, and they want to take Elon's money. We're taking this money. We're taking it, and we're putting it towards the debt. Right here, NGO. I don't give a rip what you do, because you're a front, a vestibule of corruption. That'll make some people nervous, won't it, Corey?
Yes, sir. Thanks, Shaun.
Thank you, brother. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.
And this is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
When we were kids in the farm growing up, there was a wheat, yellow rocket, but we always slanged it mustard.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Dad didn't want the mustard on the farm.
No.
It was kind of invasive. Dad would just have us pick them. We would go into the hay fields and we'd walk in the hay fields and we'd pick those fields clean. And he paid us a penny a plant.
Yeah.
Somebody had seen the story about us picking mustard.
One of the people that was submitting names.
One of the people that was submitting
contest.
names for the contest submitted the name Penny Mustard. Actually, 2 people submitted that name.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of crazy names submitted.
Gosh be darn, who's Furniture Barn? I remember that was one submission we had.
When we narrowed it down to 50 names or so, we kind of just looked at it and I'm like, there it is. This is it. It's Penny Mustard.
It was glaringly obvious to us.
See more at pennymustard.com.
In hindsight, I'm not sure if Dad cared about the mustard or he just wanted to keep us busy.
Yeah. In hindsight, I think he wanted to keep us busy.
Smart.
Virago is fending off viruses and making America healthy again.
Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Huber. I'm one of the co-founders of Virago, the immune enhancement cocktail. Here are what some Virago users have to say.
I started using Virago a little more than a year ago. I have 3 school-age kids, and they are constantly bringing home whatever bug is going around school, whether it's a cold, a sore throat, whatever it is. Everyone in the house was getting sick. I I started taking Virago to help boost my immune system, and it worked. I haven't been sick since starting Virago. I use just a half a dose daily unless I feel like I'm getting something. Then I'll take a full dose for a day or two, and I'm fine. I also feel great and more on top of my game, like my memory is sharper. I'm not forgetting things. I absolutely recommend Virago.
Boost your immune system with Virago. Order your bottle today. Visit myvirago.com. That's myvirago.com.
And use promo code IMMUNE to get 30% off.
That's myvirago.com. Use coupon code IMMUNE to save 30%. Virago and Maha, making America healthy again.
Fight or flight? In Illinois, you've got both options. You can stay and fight, engage in local races, work to change things. Or you can vote with your feet. At leavingil.com, we help you build a smart exit plan so you know where to go, when to go, and how to do it right. Take our quick exit readiness assessment. Go to leavingil.com. That's leavingil.com. Or call 224-800-6979.
I'll tell you, this organization that we are having the event with, it's a fantastic organization. It's Tunnel to Towers. And when we have this event, it is so much fun. We get to see the listeners. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful course. But the most important part of it is that Tunnel to Towers Foundation shares in our joy, shares in the gratitude of our listeners. And we are going to be joined by one of the Tunnel to Towers members who's going to join us. Christopher Vetable is going to join us to talk about Tunnel to Towers. We're going to talk about the event and about all of the people that will be recipients of the generosity of you, the listener. That'll happen after News with Mike Scott.
Good evening, Shaun. I'm Mike Scott in the QC Kinetics newsroom. Our forecast tonight mainly clear with a low of 58. President Trump in France ahead of the G7 summit. He's huddling up with the French President Emmanuel Macron. The United Kingdom is banning social media for children under age 16 as soon as next year.
Social media is making children unhappy. It's making it easier for bullies to harass and abuse them, and it could even be harming their mental health.
Cleanup continues area-wide after last Thursday evening's major severe weather outbreak and a new round of storms hit Calumet City Saturday night.
I've directed all of our staff, even if it's on someone's personal property, to remove that. We're not going to have them remove that. We're going to do it ourselves. Mayor
Thaddeus Jones. The first-place White Sox visit the Yankees tomorrow. The Northsiders start a series with Colorado at Wrigley tonight. The news, a service of USPS Ground Advantage. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you keep up with confidence. USPS.com/Ground Advantage. Your next news comes your way at 7. Continuous news, traffic, and weather coverage at 560theanswer.com. Up next, a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jill Urchek.
It's still open going outbound on the Edens. The Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, now a half hour to get out there, while the Eisenhower is improving to 45 minutes. Post office to 390. Stevenson out. That is 38 minutes. Due Saba Lakeshore Drive out to the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Outbound Ryan, 18 minutes to get out there. Express, that crash at 63rd gone. So that delay is now gone as well. Things improving on DuSable Lakeshore Drive, although it is tight either way. It's in much better shape. Tri-State the same, getting better, still scattered delays. And the Reagan, that crash westbound on the Exoram 31 is gone. Southbound 355, stop and go still. This report is the service of the AM 560 store. Order t-shirts, hoodies, and more from your favorite AM 560 brands, including Prof University and the Shaun Thompson Show when you go to 560theanswer.com/store. From the AM 560 Traffic Center, I'm Jill Urchek.
Now, your official weather forecast from the Air Right Heating and Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, expect mainly clear skies with a low of 60. On Tuesday, it will be mostly cloudy and breezy with a chance of a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. Gusty winds and small hail may accompany any thunderstorm. The high will reach 74 degrees. Tuesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 57. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Perhaps you're a collector, or perhaps all of a sudden you have a collection. Maybe it's an inheritance. How do you know what it's worth? This is Shaun Thompson for Donley Auction. The market for antiques and collectibles is changing all the time. What is your collection worth right now? Well, I've got an easy way to find out. It's simple. You contact Donley Auctions. With their worldwide audience of live and in-person auctions, they have a good idea of how to tell you exactly what it's worth at exactly right now. They're ready to put top dollar in your pocket. The bigger the collection, the better. Go to DonleyAuctions.com and get the info on all things that they buy and sell to have an idea of exactly what Donley does and how much they need your collection. They have so many buyers, it's a great time to sell. Just simply make a phone call. Donley has traveled all over the country to pick up collections. Just call and talk to the people at Donley Auctions at 815-923-7000. Donley Auctions is your trusted partner in turning your collections into cash. DonleyAuctions.com.
Hi, I'm Ken Mariotti, owner of Woodland Windows and Doors, a third-generation family-owned business since 1969. We know you're bombarded by choices when shopping for new windows or doors, so we're inviting you to experience the Woodland difference. For decades, we have been transforming living spaces with Marvin Windows, a fifth-generation family business. Marvin replacement windows have been known to increase the warmth of your cold rooms by 10 degrees. Think about that, 10 degrees warmer. When you welcome Woodland into your home, you will get a product expert to transform your living spaces, full-time, dedicated professional installers that you can trust in your home, along with the best products like Marvin. These are the reasons we're proud of our 5-star reviews and family legacy. No gimmicks, no pressure, and upfront pricing are why Woodland Windows and Doors is your trusted window and door expert in Chicagoland. Visit woodlandwindows.com to book your free in-home expert consultation. That's woodlandwindows.com, or stop by our showroom at the corner of Lake and Geary in Roselle.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This hour of The Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. Selling a collection or just the high-end antiques? Get top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All gave some gave all.
If you're old enough to remember one of the worst tragedies in America, September 11th, then you understand the tragedy that sometimes can inspire greatness. And when you talk about Tunnel to Towers, that's really what it is. It is taking a terrible, terrible loss, a tragedy of a family member, and turning it into an organization that to every member I've met, and I've been blessed to meet a lot of guys that are affiliated with Tunnel to Towers, wish they didn't have to participate in this great organization. But we do, they did, and they are doing fantastic, not just results, but life-changing to tragedies that most people can never even recover from. They make it as best as it can be. Tunnel to Towers steps in when people need help the most. And that's why I have not met Christopher, but I do know Frank, and I love him to death. And I'm sure Chris is going to be a wonderful, wonderful addition, as he is the senior director of the National Golf Series for Tunnel to Towers. Now, I would pronounce this different, Christopher, but I'm from an Italian neighborhood, and they tried to mutagan this up on me. So is it a Vitable or a Vitabali?
Actually, you said it correctly the second time, but the American way that they did it for me, I guess back in the day, was a Vitable.
No, we're going to do a Vitabali for this. From now on, you are Christopher a Vitabali, the way your grandfather hoped. But it's a terrible tragedy, you know, that Tunnel Towers was born of. But I have to say, listening to Frank and everybody tell the story, it's inspiring to see the way in which we recover in a relentless fashion to tragedy. And that's really what Tunnel to Towers is. And what you do for first responders and veterans, it's a game changer, what you do. I love the organization, and I think it's fantastic.
Well, Shaun, again, thank you for having us, and thank you for supporting us today with a wonderful outing that you guys are holding today. But again, you know, not everybody knows I know you've heard it from Frank probably multiple times, but you know, the golf program itself and a lot of the things that come out of the golf program that go into our other programs, is because of what happened, unfortunately, on that tragic day on September 11th, 2001. That morning when Stephen was actually finishing up his tour, he was actually scheduled to go play golf with his brothers. Unfortunately, the towers were struck. He had called his wife and said he had to go back into work and just let his brothers know he'd catch up with them later. Unfortunately, he was never able to catch up with them. So that's where the special place that the golf program holds within the Tunnel to Towers Foundation itself is because every time we go to one of these outings, it's being able to tee it up that one last time with Steve.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great family. What a great story. And the way in which you took the idea of what he missed and you turned it into a benefit to veterans and first responders. How many a year are you doing?
So in this 25th anniversary year, since 9/11, we have obviously a multitude of programs. And our main programs are the Gold Star Family Home Program, the Fallen First Responder Home Program, and the Smart Home Program. And this year alone, during the 25th anniversary, we'll be donating 343 homes as a living memory, a living memorial this year.
That's fascinating. And you guys do 300 golf outings a year, right?
Yes, sir. This year we're scheduled for roughly about 300 golf outings total across the country. And again, another wonderful program that is supported by the golf program is also the Homeless Veteran Program. Just want to give everybody an update on that. With the program right now as is, throughout the country, over 18,000 homeless veterans have been taken off the streets.
Now, Christopher, I have a unique link to this whole thing. I want to share it with you. But before I do, if you want to donate, go right now to 560theanswer.com/T2T. You don't have to be here to donate. But, Christopher, you know what I love about this story? It was 4 years ago. We were doing the outing right here where we're doing it in Barrington, Illinois. And I was talking to Frank. And at that time, it had just kind of, listen, we're going to buy motels. Because, people forget. They have a pigeonholed memory when we talk about the achievements. But back then, the economy was terrible. The Dimwit in Diapers was in office. Motels were closing. Hotels. It was COVID. And what you guys did, and he sat here, he said, listen, what we're going to do is we're going to turn these into studio apartments for veterans. And then we're going to take the lobbies. And we're going to put one for addiction. We're going to put one for job training. And we're going to put one for trauma that they suffered in wartime. We're going to put one that has to do with post-traumatic stress disorder. So we're going to have this in the lobby. So instead of a hotel, it'll be a one-stop shop for guys who really fell hard after they came home. And at that time, it was 22 a day were killing themselves. So when you look at these veterans and what they do, and the idea that all they have to do, thanks to you, Tunnel to Towers, and an idea, is there's a way for them to get a portion of control in their life back. I loved it then, and to see it mature, it's amazing that you've done this.
Well, and that's the biggest thing. It's not just getting them off the streets, like you said. It's giving them the full program, right? It's being able to change their lives and get them back to where they need to be, right? Again, a lot suffer with addiction, a lot suffer with PTSD. And you have to have the resources to be able to help them. And again, a lot of that comes from these golf outings and from the support, and a simple $11 a month goes a very long way.
$11 a month. That's just still amazing. I mean, it's 2 cups of coffee. And I don't care if you go to Dunkin' Donuts now, everything's a fin. So for $11 a month, the fact that you could do this, and it's just fantastic. And, it's nice, too, to be at the event here where we've been having it all these years. And you see people who come up, listeners, and they listen, and they say, you know what, we're going to do something this year. So, and, the economies are tough. I don't care how much money you got, what it is. There's not a lot of uncertainty. But one thing that's for certain, if you give money to Tunnel to Towers, it is going to the veteran. It is going to the first responder. And unfortunately, we've had tragedy here with policemen and firemen who constantly need your help. So the demand isn't going away, and you're not going away. And it's a tenacious charity that is doing the right thing for the right people. I mean, how proud you must be to be a part of this organization.
Oh, Shaun, it's absolutely amazing. Honestly, every event that I get to be a part of, to see what we do, and just again, see the people that are out there supporting us and being able to interact with them, it's absolutely amazing. And the one other thing I do want to add, especially when it comes to the golf program, we have another portion which is the adaptive golf program, which has and helps our catastrophically injured recipients be able to get back out on the golf course by providing them with a mobile accessible unit, which is called a Verticat, which allows them to navigate a golf course. Plus, it allows them to it holds them, it stands them up, it allows them to address the golf ball, allows them to take a full swing. It's absolutely amazing. And as of today, right now, we have 24 out to our recipients, and we have 4 more on order, so 28 total Verticats for our catastrophically injured to get back out there and get that freedom back.
It's amazing. It's a beautiful thing and a tragedy as well to see that technology can do this, right? And make people who can't stand again, who can't swing again. And it's not just golf. I'm very optimistic about what the future is going to deliver in making these guys whole again. But it can't be done without people like you that are willing to flip the bill for not just the house anymore. It's so much more at T2T. I really do love it. And you can go right now, 560theanswer.com/T2T. And after this golf outing, it's still going to be something you need to do. So anytime, Christopher, you come back. And I mean it. You have an open door. Anything you need us to know, we want to help you all the way. We're very proud to even be affiliated with you.
Well, I do want to definitely share this with you. Because of the 25th anniversary, we have the Steel Across America, and I wanted to make sure everybody in the Chicago area knew when that would be hitting the area. So there is a mobile unit carrying a 16,000-pound piece of steel from the South Tower throughout the country, being able to share the story and give a remembrance of that tragic day so that we never do forget. But it will be hitting your area, Chicago's Fire Department, Engine Company 18, on August 12th at 11 a.m.
People can never forget that. People can never forget that day and what happened and why it's such a necessity to support you and why you exist. So I love the fact this is happening. Give it one more time because people will go back and listen on the podcast. But if they're listening in their car and they weren't paying attention, give it one more time.
Sure. It's the Chicago Fire Department, Engine Company 18, on August 18th at 11 a.m. And there will be the mobile unit there with the piece of steel. The mobile museum will be there. People will be able to go touch the steel, be able to feel it, feel the souls that were lost that day in there, and remember why we can never forget.
No, and Christopher, it's something that we had to live through, but something that makes it a little easier is Tunnel to Towers. So thank you, Christopher Avidabali. And on my show, it'll be pronounced right to the end of time. Deal?
Deal.
All right. I can't wait to meet you in person, Christopher. Thank you
Shaun.
for everything. All right. We'll be back with your calls and comments.
He believes in freedom, capitalism, and individual liberty. And because of that, he's become an enemy of the state. He's Shaun Thompson, and this is The Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
The following contains a celebrity impersonation.
Mr. President, we're seeing reporting that air conditioning systems are failing as temperatures rise. What is your response?
I said, don't wait. People wait until the last second, then suddenly it's hot and nothing works. I understand this stuff probably better than anybody.
Mr. President, why hasn't the White House issued any guidance?
I gave perfect guidance. Call Air Right Heating and Cooling. That's the guidance. If people followed it, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Sir, but homeowners have so many HVAC options.
They're not like Air Right. You've got some bad installers out there, some real bad hombres. I wouldn't let them near the White House. It would be a complete disaster.
Mr. President, there are reports of significant rebates on new systems. Can you confirm?
I've heard about them. A lot of people talking about them. If you miss out, you'd have to be really not so smart. Tremendous savings, let me tell you.
Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling at AIR-RITE.com. Air Right, doing it right since 1959.
Concerned about your retirement accounts or bank savings? Tired of stock market turbulence? Or simply curious about diversifying with precious metals? Tune into The Gold Show on AM 560, The Answer. Learn how gold and silver can help protect your financial future. Discover insights, strategies, and opportunities designed to help you make smarter decisions and guide you to more confident investing. Don't miss The Gold Show this Saturday morning at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
Business owners, now's the time for your business to make the move to a locally owned business bank. Hi, Mike Gallagher here to let you know that you don't have to look far. Signature Bank was founded in Chicago with a simple mission to help companies like yours grow, succeed, and thrive. Their decisions are made locally by a terrific team that knows your name, cares about your business, and invests in your success. That's why Signature Bank is my bank. I'm a customer. As business owners, they knew that local family-owned businesses were not getting the help they needed or deserved. So I invite you to reach out to my friends at Signature Bank today. Write the number down. Remember this phone number, Signature Bank, 773-467-5630, and learn all about this great bank, 773-467-5630, or visit them online at signaturebank.bank. That's signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank makes commercial banking personal. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm alpine skier Michaela Schifrin. I've won the most World Cup ski races in history. But what does success mean to me? Success means discipline. It's teamwork. It's the drive and passion inside of us, and it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing global wealth management firms in the country. If you're looking for success, surround yourself with the people who will get you there. If you're an advisor or investor, choose Stifel, where success meets success.
Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Past performance is no indication of future results. Investing involves risk. Consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions.
AM 560, The Answer.
We must stop the terror. I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
The mysterious Marvin had the security contract for the towers. I don't like any of it. Bushes. I tell you, I can't stand the bushes. John, Garfield Ridge.
Hey, Shaun, how'd you hit him today, brother?
I tell you what, a lot better than the other Lambones I was playing with. It was my score. There was no best ball, just my fracking score. So it wasn't in the grand scheme of things. It wasn't terrible. And I think they sold their clubs and now are either taking a pickleball or bowling.
Sounds like a good time. You know, Shaun, if I'm feeling brave enough to serpentine my way to and from the Obama Presidential Library, will I finally be able to see a portrait of Michelle Obama pregnant? Or at least, Shaun, can I check out Graham Plattner's new book, Mein Kampf?
Oh, look what you did there. Do me a favor. If you do go, can you find a photograph where she doesn't have a 5 o'clock shadow? Can you do that for me? Because I noticed that right when they told me she's like Elizabeth Taylor, only repulsive. Remember how we had to buy the idea that dimwit was beautiful? Finally, another benefit to the Trump years.
And lastly, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
He's catching a lot of flack for that. You know why, John? He wasn't really politically correct. He should have went with my motto. She may have a vagina, but no one wants to see it. I think it's much safer, and I think it's more to the point. But, John, you stay safe out there in Garfield Ridge. It's not the 70s. Okay, kid?
Yeah, you got it, Shaun. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And when it comes to Nazis, nobody really does it like the Democrats. After all, they're the National Worker Socialist Party anyway.
If somebody does a Nazi salute in a public forum or in public view, would that be a factor? It could be. Could be. Okay. What about burning a cross?
It could be a factor depending on the context.
Okay. Have tattoos like Nazi symbols?
We believe that Nazi symbols are symbols of hate. Yes.
Yeah, but you got the KKK on a payroll and you voted for Graham Plattner. You're Nazis. We'll be back in 21. Fastest show on radio, even during the golf outing.
John was an active man. He'd go for runs, walk the golf course,